control training, all on board with us tonight, and and our you people as well. So lots to get into when it comes to this show tonight. Looking forward to a great one. We should have Ricky Carmichael coming on. Yeah, the GOAT. Ivan Tedesco should join us as well. Jeff Stanton. That's a lot of championships right there, everybody. And then the president of Triumph America, Rod Lupasnek, as well, coming on and joining us and talking about Triumph entering into Moto and checking it out. And again, there are big things planned for those guys. And we rode the 250 today here at Gatorback. So there's lots to get into in the show, and appreciate you guys listening and watching, and really looking forward to having a good time tonight. With me in studio, a couple of good friends of mine, and then we're going to talk Dallas Supercross and more. First up from Keefering Testing is Kris Keefer. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
How are you?
To be here.
Yeah.
Good day.
Good day.
You rode a dirt bike?
I rode a dirt bike.
That was nice.
I rode a dirt bike for a long time.
And you rode a 250F dirt bike.
Yeah, which I'm not really used to, and I'm kind of over the recommended weight of one.
But we let the cat out of the bag a little bit earlier that you kind of like that feeling.
I do.
Yes.
We'll get into it.
Yes.
Embargoed. But no, there's lots to get into when it comes to the Triumph test today for sure. Also here from Vital MX, Michael Lindsay. What's up, ML?
The power of the embargo almost took out your show tonight.
It did, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what was going on. I know, right? We apologize for starting late, and if you're listening to this on the archive, then we're not late. But yeah, we thank the folks at United for absolutely screwing the pooch when it comes to my luggage.
That's your team.
It's my airline.
Come join Team Delta.
It wasn't my airline so much. It was the baggage handling system that the airline uses. I was assured it would be here by 2 p.m.
Okay.
Then I was assured 4 to 8 hours it'll be delivered. Ended up being 10 hours from when the van left today. So that's why we're late. But better late than never. Lots to get into tonight on the show. Kellen Brauer is going to join us here shortly. Dallas, though. Let's touch on Dallas. I know a lot of our listeners want to talk about Dallas. Kellen was there. We all watched it on TV. Cooper Webb got it done. Jet Lawrence. This is why it's hard for rookies to win. Like, he's awesome, and he's still got the points lead, and he may win this thing. But when you look at the smooth, calm ride in Glendale to get that third, and then all by himself with 4 laps to go, throws it away. Yep. And then to compound it, lost even more points running into back of poor Vince Freeze, who seemed to be everywhere. None of it his fault. But, there's another rookie mistake. I don't even look at the first one so much as the second one that cost him another 3 points, right? Running in the back of Vince. Like, you got to know that. But let's start with Webb, Keefer, first. Yep. Cooper Webb, man, he's a gamer. He loves Dallas.
Yeah, and honestly, he didn't have very good qualifying times. You watched him in qualifying. Didn't look very good. But it's Dallas, and he rides good there. The track breaks down. He's a good jumper in the whoops.
Yep.
And he got lucky. I mean, he was gifted that win.
Yeah.
Even, I think, twice, because he passed Jet when he crashed. And I think if Vince wasn't in the way, I still think Jet gets him on that lap.
Oh, you think Jet makes a move?
I think Jet gets him on that lap.
Okay.
I was feeling it. I was like, oh, shit, he's coming. He's going to get him. Right. And then I saw Vince. I'm like, oh, where's he going to go? And I think he already kind of felt that pass coming and then saw Vince. He's like, I'm in the wrong line. I'm screwed. And then there you go.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
Yeah. To me, you watch the lap times.
Yeah.
And it was 4 to 6 seconds. He was staying semi-close. He was, he was digging. He wasn't. If he had dropped off a little bit, he's not passing Jet when Jet goes down, right? Because he got up pretty much right in front of him.
He matched his times. I was on the times and I was looking. He matched his times a few laps, and then it was 0.2, 0.4, back and forth.
Yep.
And then that mistake happened. And you look at the track all night. It was rough for a lot of people from the start of the day.
Yeah. It soft broke down, right?
Yep.
The old Dallas, I don't know if you guys either remember, but the old Cowboy Stadium was
packed, yes.
Elsinore.
Yeah.
And it is no longer that. Michael, going back to what I was saying, though, I'm not saying Jet still has a points lead. I was pretty surprised. But this is why it's hard for these dudes to win, rookies. They got to figure it out.
No, they do. It's still little mistakes come up. I'm still surprised with the whole – I was taking a step back and looking at the championship at the end of the night, and I'm still – Jet's got the points lead. I'm just really curious what comes out from here because not one person, Webb got a win, but nobody's stepped up around to go after Jet to get the points. So we got 6 guys that keep interchanging.
Yep.
So it's still, even though Jet made those little mistakes, and it's wow, he could keep doing that. I don't care if he keeps doing it. Somebody else has to be there consistently.
Yep.
Playing with
Sorry.
my levels.
Go ahead.
Jerk. Somebody has to be there consistently to make, to take advantage of those mistakes. Because right now it's a different person every time.
Is it sad that I kind of got happy that he crashed?
Yeah, it's sad.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's
Not
absolutely
because
sad.
it's sad. It's sad because I don't want to see him get hurt. But it's like, oh my gosh, now we have a race. Because every time he pulls whole shot, I'm like,
Well, speaking
there's,
of race,
there's the fucking race.
Heat races were amazing all night, and then the main was kind of a snoozer there for a while. After great heat races, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, just waiting for the laps to go. But
Let's talk about Webb getting dropped in that heat.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, right?
Yeah.
Kellen Brauer, welcome.
Hey, thanks for joining me.
Whoa, you're really
Hey,
loud.
everything's hot tonight.
Hey.
I can't hear anything in these. Okay, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for joining us, buddy. What's your takeaway?
Yeah, as Michael said, I felt like it was a little bit of a snoozer in the both main events.
Yeah, it's good.
A little. Oh, good?
Yep,
Okay.
you're fine.
Both main events was a little bit of a snoozer until things weren't a snoozer.
Yeah.
The crashes definitely made it more interesting at the end. But, yeah, I think that we were all kind of sitting up there thinking, like, oh, boy, is this going to be the Jet situation that we're going to just keep watching every single week and he's just going to win by 3 seconds? But, yeah. Went down and sorry, I'm trying to keep I don't
just
what you guys
just keep
do.
talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, went down and gave us a bit of a series, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now JT and I have been having this huge debate about Tomac. I mean, I don't think he's got it in him. Like, he's gone winless streak. He rode amazing, right?
Yeah.
Crashed, came up, rode great. He's got too many guys to pass, and there's been too many kind of weird rides for him to do this. He rode great though, but that should have been a third. And AP was on him.
Yeah.
And I'm a believer in Tomac to win some races and get on a podium, but the overall track is not great. Like the overall competition, no one has been able to grab this thing, and I'm hoping someone can, like, down the road. I don't know.
But here's the thing,
know.
like you look at what he did, right? No matter if Jet stays up, he gets third. If he was near the front, he's going to win. Yeah. You can see that now. Before we really couldn't see that. Now you watch him ride, like, oh, there he is.
That's the thing, is a podium, but it's different than the last one. I mean, when you see him basically backing it into a turn and it's already cranked wide open from you, like, he's
There
back.
it is. Yeah.
And I mean, of course, the momentum. We're going to Daytona. I said this week. I'm kind of like, I don't know why I have this weird feeling in the back of my head that we show up to Daytona. If him and Jet get a good start, do they just start? Do they kind of level up at the next race and start dropping people at Daytona bad? Like, because if you're Jet, if you're anybody, you don't want to let Eli go out and kill Daytona and get all of his confidence back. If he gets a good start, do you have to push to try to beat Eli there to pretty much kill that momentum he has?
If they both get a start, who wins, Tomac or
At Daytona?
Yeah.
I want to say Tomac. I'd be really curious to see when Jet's really pushed in 450 Supercross how fast those two can go at Daytona, though.
I would say Tomac too, but just because there's such little sample size with Jet at Daytona, I know he's went outdoors and killed it, but that doesn't necessarily mean Daytona success is going to be there. By the way, Steve, people in chat are saying I'm low.
Very quiet.
Yeah, you're kind of hollow in the hallway.
All right.
Hollow in a hallway.
Push that mic closer, see if it helps.
No, he's fine.
No, okay. I don't know.
We're going to have some audio issues here a little bit with Kellen. I can hear Kellen super loud, but let's just carry on the conversation, and I'll try to figure this thing out.
I still think we're not done with Tomac. We're going to see him after Daytona. He's going to crank it up. From what I've heard, and I've talked to a couple of people, his setting's a lot better. He spent the week, like they talked about in the broadcast, spent a week in Florida. He's very sensitive to the shock. We all know that. And now look at him on the podium. You've never heard him call out his shot. Like, he's like, okay, I'm here. Let's do that. You never hear it. You never hear that.
That's really rare.
That's why I said I'm scared Daytona. Like, I feel like he's fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I feel like right now, I mean, just looking forward, he's the only person that gives me the vibes that they can put together. Again, somebody needs to step up. So when those mistakes come from Jet, they're there every weekend to capitalize and start eating into that points gap. It's not that big, of course, with everything that's been going on. To me, he just feels like the only guy that has that going for him right now.
Well, I think Sexton is going to get healthier,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he's been just battling. To me, Sexton has been better than Eli pre-injury all year long. Jet has been better than Eli pre-injury all day long, or all year long so far. And now I'm looking at Webb and starting to think he's been a little bit better too. But this weekend's huge. I think, like you mentioned it.
Well, Larry, this really, there's always that go-to phrase, the series starts in Daytona. For once, I I'm like, hell,
What?
those words mean something.
Who did Cooper Webb flip off?
Was it
What
just
was that?
I don't
about?
know.
Do you see
just
you
the
saw
world?
photo? You saw the photo?
Yeah, well, like the whole swing of the arm on the finish line was a flip off.
But
So
no idea? Like,
No.
and Dallas
Just
was running
everyone.
After the
Yeah,
race.
maybe.
Everyone.
no. Yeah,
Maybe
everyone.
it's like
I
a big
guess.
FU to everyone that's on.
FU to the
Probably
world.
you.
Just all around the
You,
stadium.
me, him, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
You were a
it
doubter,
was
and that's what it
weird to
is.
see, for sure.
Have we been?
I mean, here's the thing. It's,
Everybody is every year. I told him
guess.
this the first year. Like, no matter what, when we all do pre-race, like, there's always waffling. Can he do it? Can he not? People write him off. It's just
I was hoping the
happens.
pistol would come back. I like the pistol.
pew pew.
And then, I think there's going to be some races where Kenny is on. And it wasn't this weekend, but it was Glendale. So,
Mookie looks better.
heat race Mookie was back.
Mookie is better.
Right?
Dude.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I don't know about Kenny so much because early in the main event until he crashed with Vince on lap 3 or 4,
Yeah.
like he was passing guys
Was he
buckets
coming?
at a time.
Yeah.
Like he started, I think, 12th or 13th and was already battling for 6th, I think, when he got into Vince. So, yeah, I don't know how to write out that one either because he very well could have been an Eli situation where he had the speed, but he got taken back too early, and we never really got a chance to see what he had in him.
There's it's Jason Anderson's another one. You don't know what you're getting, right? If he starts up front, he's going to be hard, but if he's in the back, he's going to be where he was this weekend. So
It's a great series.
yeah,
It's a great series. We're halfway at Daytona. We're halfway this weekend, right? So,
I haven't been excited about a 450 group of guys in a long time.
Yep.
And every weekend, I'm like, this is going to be so good.
you do wonder a little bit, and I've written about this and I've talked about it a little bit. Are we getting into start cross? Eli knocked this weekend. Eli was, he went beast mode, right? But are we starting to see start cross like Webb?
No.
No?
No, only if it's Jet. That's why I get
Okay.
pissed.
Yeah.
If Jet gets a start, I'm like, fuck it, I'm turning it off.
Yeah, but look what he did this weekend. He threw it away.
I know.
Yeah.
But I think if it's a hard packed track,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen.
Kellen, if you had said, hey, Jet, you're going to be leading 14 laps, 15 laps or whatever, and then you're going to throw it away, and then you're going to end up 4th, and you still have the points lead, he'll take it.
I mean, he wouldn't take the throwing it away
Yeah,
part. I think
but-
he would rather stay on 2 wheels. But
Yeah.
I mean, he'll take the situation he's in, no question about it.
Yeah.
To get to basically, like you say, the halfway point of the season and have the points lead, sure,
Yeah.
I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, it's been super cool to watch for sure. And again, like we got guys that are coming in hot one weekend, and
Yeah.
then next weekend they're back, and Eli's out, he's back. Like it's just
And for me, like the Vince thing, I like that. I always analyze this kind of stuff after they're done racing. Like on the podium, he called it out himself. He's like, I made the mistake. It was my fault.
Jet
Like,
did. Yes. Yeah.
He didn't blame Vince, because Vince takes enough beatings as he should. But like, he's like, hey, that was on me.
He handled it pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering what happened, right?
The one thing I'll say about Vince that, and it's not a bash to him, it's just the circumstances. Glendale and Arlington, he kind of shaped both races a little bit early because he started up front and a couple guys couldn't get him. And when Kenny went down and caused that whole pileup, it was suddenly front 4 gone.
Yeah.
Big gap to Vince, and then a big gap behind him to another group, which is exactly what we saw in Glendale.
And Glendale Vince affected that race without a doubt in my
Right,
mind.
yeah.
There was noticeable gaps as soon as he got behind everybody.
I think it's because when people get around him, they just know I'm screwed. Like I've got to do something, or else
Yeah.
he's going to come. You watch Kenny when he was trying to pass him. He was like, oh shit, I can't do that because he's going to come right back.
But
So-
like to me, I know Vince has all his haters, but that's the start is part of the dirt bike.
Oh,
race,
yeah.
You know?
That's totally part of it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's,
like-
I'm not
like,
blaming
I'm not
Vince
saying
for
you
getting
are,
in the
but-
way or whatever.
Everybody's
but-
always complaining about me. Well, outstart him. That's
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, yeah, Fly Racing, Motorsport.com, Race Tech. We're gonna have the Race Tech rant later on, and my Race Tech rant is directed towards Chris Keefer.
Why is it always me when I'm on
no,
the show?
It is. You'll find out. X Brand
Is it
Goggle
sphere
Tear-Offs, we got
related?
those coming
I thought
up
it'd
again
be
at
the sphere
motorsport.com.
that U2 is gone.
Tweet at me, I guess, because
Yeah.
I'm the one going to read the questions that we got.
Oh, you are? So you're going to dig into Twitter tonight.
Yeah, I am. And then we're going to talk about Triumph. A little bit of controversy this morning, the Triumph.
yeah, there was. God, we
bit of
didn't even
media
get kicked
controversy.
off yet. Yeah.
We'll see if we can get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
it's
got
gonna be
Tedesco
fun.
and RC coming in, and then Rod from Triumph America and some guy named Jeff Stanton. So between Stanton, 6 titles, Ricky's got 15.
Did you beat Stan today?
No, I never saw him. I never saw him out there.
That was still the best thing this morning. You were just listing off. Well, you got beat by this guy this year. You
Yeah.
got beat by this guy this year.
Yogi was out. Yogi was
Yeah,
out riding
that's right.
for Whiskey Throttle.
Dude, that's
Great to
sick.
see Yogi.
Yeah.
I was so stoked.
Kiefer, you were.
I rode behind him. I never even got a chance to ride with him, and I jumped in behind him, and I just wanted to ride like it was bitching. Yeah, it was awesome.
cool.
And he still rides the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great style.
Let's talk 250s and
The
God
danger
damn.
zone.
dude,
I'm not entering
Faulkner.
it.
Oh boy.
He caught and passed Deegan in the heat, took off, looked great. Out front in the main. Now, Deegan was catching him a little bit, right? Deegan was getting him. I don't know if he would have gotten him. What do you think? You were there?
Well, honestly, I missed most of the Faulkner crash. I only saw like the tail end of him kind of sliding across the concrete and then the bike kicking up sparks behind it, because I literally had just looked down on my laptop to start typing like, oh, and Deegan made a run, but it wasn't enough kind of thing. Because he did, and then he made a couple mistakes, and it opened up to like a 2.5 second gap. And you're like, I think Austin's got it from here.
Funny, in the heat, Faulkner was catching Deegan in the turn before the whoops,
going around the outside.
going around on the left side, and then Faulkner was sticking to that in the main, and it was costing him. And now Deegan was getting through the whoops better, but then Faulkner corrected himself. And
well, by the time Deegan got to him, I think Deegan was like, I gotta go, and he even said that post race.
Yeah.
And I think it was just causing way too many mistakes. Like it wasn't like massive ones or anything.
kept
It was just a
sliding
clip
out.
here, or front end slide into a corner or something.
He was just pushing.
Yeah.
I mean, this was supposed to be different for Faulkner. This was supposed to be different.
I cannot explain how frustrated, I know, of course, his camp's going to be. When you read the comments section, people are like, Faulkner again, riding sketchy. I didn't see that at all during the main. I feel so gutted for the guy because I don't know what to chalk it up to. Just bad luck. Like, he is...
That rhythm was getting some guys, but they were not able to triple after going over.
Yep.
But, I mean, it was... Yeah, that's just...
How many guys
not
did you
riding like he
see
used to.
try to jump in that pocket, right? Because it was so abrupt. Heads bounced because it was so gnarly. Like, a lot of guys all night. And that was you get a little bit tired. Your body position's a little bit too far forward. His hands, like, just as time wears on, you get a little sloppy, and this is what happens.
Contact popped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad said something about that. Yeah.
You got to feel for him, man. This is, and now he's got wrist injuries and a back injury, right? Is it wrist?
Scapula,
back,
L3,
scapular.
L4.
I think I was thinking scapula is the same as scaphoid, but no, scapula is shoulder.
The lumbars are what? The transverse.
And then so I mean, God, you got to feel for the dude. It was all there for him, right? And even if Deegan had caught him, take him home in second, points leader, no problem. Like, instead, he's out for months probably.
He still wakes up and looks at that blonde girl every morning, so he's fine.
Okay, Jesus, Keefer.
It's so good though. That's gonna make me happy if I'm just.
I feel for him for sure, man. And so Deegan takes the win. Funny that the top four in the 250 were the bottom four in Detroit, right? And now Max Anstey, 2-6 to start the year, is your points leader.
Yeah.
You were saying about Jet getting fourth and is he happy to a play? How about Max Anstey getting 6 and being like, hey buddy, you got the red plate tonight.
Yeah. Think about that, right? Think of if you had said, hey Anstey, you're going to be 2-6 and got the red plate. So the class is nutty. I mean, Deegan is still right in it, and I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess he's the favorite.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. But I think
right?
So far from the 2 rounds, it seems a little start dependent. Like, it seems like he's, because of the injury, maybe just going the pace of the group that he's in. Like, his heat race was kind of similar to that a little bit, where he got passed early and just had guys that were shuffling him around a little bit. So I think I need to see him start maybe 7th and get up to 2nd to say, like, yeah, he's the guy. Because that was what Cam did. Cam started, I think, like 8th or 9th and got to 2nd in the end. Yeah. So I think you could say they're mano-a-mano almost a little bit in that regard.
Hamaker qualified fastest, if that means anything.
I'm honestly impressed at Cameron's pace considering how little prep time he had coming into the season. I thought it would take him a couple more rounds to kind of get going from hearing how delayed he was.
But don't you think those 2 weeks were pretty big?
It had to be.
After Detroit?
It had to be, but still, I heard somebody say, Lewis was telling me he was limping really bad after the main. He said it looked terrible.
Yeah, right leg, right foot or something like that. He was just like...
he hurt in Detroit. I mean,
could be.
He went and got x-rays in Detroit and was all worried about that, right?
Yeah, Lewis, it looked like debilitating. He was like again, we were watching on TV, so I didn't see that, but he said it looked terrible in person, how much he was hobbling around.
It was pretty bad.
So, 250 East is wacky.
Here's the deal, and I'm probably going to get so much hate.
Here we go.
It's tough to like root for the kid for me on my end. I don't really like I don't like cockiness. I don't like the stuff, right? I mean, he's a great rider. He's really, really good and fun to watch, but I don't know. Because maybe he's a kid. I don't know, but we see a lot of young kids and they're just not like that. You
sound like me on the review pod last night.
Really?
And JT's like, he's like, it's not meant for you.
It's not meant for me.
And I'm just
That's
like,
a great
I
way to
guess
look
not.
at it, I guess.
And I keep telling myself, hey, he's just a kid. He's just a kid. And we just like, well, I'm sure his dad is telling him what to say. And it's a tough, man. It's a tough watch.
I think I agree with the whole it's not for us. Like, I can take a step back, I
Yeah.
feel like, with that. The tough one, as most people pointed out, and Mates Kid, but there's the mutual respect on the podium with Austin's situation and some of the stuff he said. Oh, I was pressuring him till, when it's like, you were making a bunch of mistakes trying to catch him. I don't think you were really pressuring him yet. He wasn't pushing. There's just certain things, the way you say them and do them towards your competition, that in that situation, that I think there's some respect there. I get the character he is.
Yeah.
I respect that in the way that, hey, I don't think our sport has enough of that, and I'm cool with that. I definitely, it's not always my cup of tea.
Right.
But some of the things, the way things were said afterwards because of Austin's situation
He
and
did,
the Ghost
he
Rider.
did say, though, something about,
Yeah,
I
he
hope
did.
Austin's okay. Or he
Yeah.
said something about that.
After, when I talked to him like an hour later, he was walking it back quite a bit. Like
Quite
he
a bit.
was like, "I really hope Austin's okay. I hate
Yeah.
to see that kind of thing." Like definitely
But,
not the
okay,
adrenaline pumping
Right,
type
but
of
don't you
post race
feel like
interview.
that's
So
like dad pulling him aside? Hey, man,
Oh,
so
could
now
be.
say that
Some-
you're worried
yeah.
about Austin.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where I'm at with, like, he's a great rider, and he's going to be a champion.
respect the shit
and,
out of him.
and all of that. And he's got a lot of heart out on the track. But, yeah, the things on the podium, I'm just like, come on, man. And
But
it's,
I think about this too, like
know?
not everyone's going to be Cameron McAdoo and just, hey, you're really nice, So I think we need that in
Yeah,
our sport.
like I said, the sport
Yeah.
needs it. I'm just on the gyro set, but I still can't knock that much. We need that. The sport needs that character. And I think about, like, even in the future, we're talking a couple years down the road, but him versus Jet in 450s, eventually what that could turn into for the sport from a storyline standpoint, because two very different people and characters, and depending on how they're marketed, just could continue to separate.
like, I have a good authority that at the end of the Nationals last year, Brian went up to Darren Lawrence and was like saying, hey, man, sorry about all the stuff we were saying on the podium and sorry about the stuff we were doing. It's just, we're trying to, like,
Spice it up.
spice it up. And Darren Lawrence was like, no, we don't need to do that, And I'm just like, the danger zone. I'm just like, I'm too old, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I
like,
agree. I think Brian built his business, right? And
Sure.
that's what he did, and he
Right.
was successful
When
with
do the
it.
spikes come out on the shoulder pads?
So,
Is
He
that
did,
coming?
he did
I-
Ghost Ride his bike.
yeah.
Yeah, I know he did.
I will say, not to be corny, I'm surprised it hasn't come out for like a press day yet or something.
Right. Listen, and the kid's awesome. He's a great rider.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is that. It is McAdoo second. Vial was third, right, I believe?
Yeah, and Hammaker
And
fourth.
then going forward from there, that 250 East. I think Deegan Faulkner had gotten second or first. I'd still be a Faulkner guy, but with him out, I like Deegan's chances to win this thing,
And then when we're talking title, really we think is going to be there towards the end? Is it pretty much Deegan, Cam, Max for the season?
I think Max for sure. Cameron's still a little like,
Yeah.
he still has a little bit of that rep that he needs to
Clean up, yeah.
to smooth out a little bit. But, I mean, Max is for real, but I don't think Max has Deegan's outright speed.
Probably not.
But
I think he's going to be the consistent veteran that we
Yeah.
expect him to be, and that'll be
top 5 guy.
That'll be measured compared to Deegan, who'll be wild, and Cameron,
Yeah.
who will be Cameron. So
Yep.
I think it might work because he'll just kind of hang around, and when they make the mistakes, he'll take advantage of it.
Yeah.
I'm just looking
No.
at this.
And hey, Romano led some laps too. Romano was much better.
Yeah,
than
no, he looked
right?
really good this week for sure. Yeah,
So he was. Detroit was not great for him. So
the star guys flipped.
What? Yeah.
Daxton had a terrible week, and
Speaking
not
of Triumph,
terrible, but
Evan Ferry dislocated his shoulder in press day, and
Yep.
then Jalik Swoll went out early with a concussion, we think.
we think.
And so Triumph, the guys that were all here, of course, they had. I think Detroit went really well for them, even though Evan hit the wall. He still won the LCQ, and then Jalik rode really well in the main. And then that's the ups and downs of racing, everybody.
Yeah.
For Triumph.
Life comes at you fast for sure.
Right, there we go, right? It's
Chance
absolutely that
Hymas
way.
had the fastest lap.
What's that?
Chance Hymas.
Really?
Fastest lap in the main.
Oh.
46.008.
And he went off into the concrete at some point, somebody said. Did you see that? He was like fourth or fifth batting with Vial, and then he was off on the concrete, I guess.
Oh, shit.
I remember that, but he did
I
fade a
don't know,
little bit
these
late.
Two guys are on their phones.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
well, he
looking at
did-
lap times.
Sorry, I
so.
have a little work
But
going on. Sorry.
Hymas was going really fast. Like him and Vial kind of came forward together, and they caught the PC group late a little bit. And I don't know. Yeah, maybe Hymas went off the track. I was kind of paying attention to what Faulkner was doing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he
Anybody
faded
check
a
in
little
on
bit.
Mitch after?
No.
Hey, so I want to talk about AP third, and we touched on this on the review pod too. Like, he's now a guy that
Yeah, he's
like
good.
he came into the year with, I don't know, 3 or 4 podiums in his career. I don't know, 450 Supercross.
Yeah, about that.
Something like that. And now Tomac got him, but did you see how close he was to Tomac at the end? Like, he picked it up and probably found some lines and was right there and got a third. And, like, he's a guy now, I think. Like, JT was kind of saying, like, do you think Tomac's worried about AP, like, as far as winning the title? And, yeah, Tomac's better than AP just historically, but I think AP is –
well, here's the thing.
he's really impressing me.
AP is going to be like, I don't care anymore because he knows he can win. And he got a taste of some of that this year, having the red plate, doing all these things. And he's like, I don't really care who's behind me. He's not reading names on jerseys anymore. He's like, I can run the pace now. So you see that fight back in it.
Yeah.
You don't have that fight as a racer unless you don't care about who's past you. Because sometimes when you get past, it's it. But these guys, these rare guys, like you watch Deegan, he's that way. I feel like Faulkner, he's that guy. You look at AP, now he's that guy. Like, I don't care. I'll get you back. That's rare. You don't find that.
Yeah, I think he could win again on a dry track.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
No, I think for sure.
there?
I mean, I think maybe he'll need a little help. I think he needs, like, Jet and Eli not to be right there, or Coop or some of those other guys. But, yeah, the pace was there for the entire main event. He didn't let Coop go. It wasn't like Coop gapped him by 8-9 seconds. He was still within I think 3 or 4 seconds the whole main event. And even though Eli got him, it was feisty, and the crowd was really loud. I mean, talk about two guys that the crowd's really into this year. When Eli and AP were going at it, it was like bedlam.
Did you go to the Friday night AP Cowboy dinner?
I did not, but Dark said it was pretty.
Mr. Side went.
Mr. Side went. He said there was quite a few people there for
God,
AP.
he is the man of the people right now. He is just all over.
Yeah.
He's got some
video
in-home.
today of
He's
Mr.
got some
Side
in-home
that was-
pussy now. Now he's just a different dude.
Saw a video of Mr. Side today that was interesting.
I'd love to play that audio,
It's just so hard.
but we won't because we like Dark, and we will not do that to him.
We're not doing that?
No.
Not yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Let's just wait a little bit.
But no, the crowd loves AP. It's phenomenal. Like,
But
Detroit,
even
they loved
Eli,
him.
like,
But
in that
I was
battle.
always like, okay, he almost won here last year. We had the heartbreak, right? Yeah. And then we went to Glendale, right? Yeah, Glendale. And they loved him there. And I'm like, okay, like this is just Arizona.
Dude, no,
Like,
AP across the board, fans
Yeah,
in the
dude.
pits. It is. I'm trying to think of when was the last time. This is rude. I'm not saying that AP is not successful. He's just recently getting to this point of winning. But when was the last time somebody maybe in his position of racing success was this popular? Not a championship 450 level guy. Like,
yeah. He's
again, the sport needs the characters.
is he the second most popular rider right now? The third most popular rider?
behind what, like
Behind,
Kenny
I'm saying
and
like Jet and
Jet.
Eli.
Yeah,
No, I think
in the
he's more than
450
Eli.
class. It's getting, I think, really close. Eli, I'm really impressed. Like, even though he hasn't changed his social presence, just kind of the way he carries himself the race, people knowing that he's about to leave, like the fan base around Eli definitely has been building.
That's
all
weird
this.
for me to hear. Like, you never hear that
What?
for Eli, and all of a sudden you're hearing it now.
It's just
The last
old
like
guy
2-3
coming back
years,
from
it's been
injury.
building.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wyndham
Even
had
last-
it. Timmy had it. LaRocco had it. The old guy fighting the kids is always
Even last year, Chase coming into it, though, you could see Eli the last 2 or 3 years as he's getting to record historic levels. We know as he started to say, like, hey, I might be, maybe next year's last year. It's just come naturally. Social media's grown a lot. He still barely posts, but following, comments, people are just into him.
Can we push a panic button
Oh,
for someone?
Oh,
I think I know who you want to push the panic button for.
I don't know what the fuck's going on, dude.
Barsha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
he's
know
not
he
happy with
crashed.
his
I know
bike.
what happened this week, but I don't pass that. What in the fuck?
Me and Jeff Sand had quite the conversation about that earlier.
So what is it? Bike?
I think
Bike.
we're
It's
talking
the
about
same,
Barsha.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same bike from
I
that
don't
he
know
was
if
ripping on last year.
It's not,
No,
though.
different forks.
Different
he had to run
forks,
the, he had to run the
different
48.
Didn't,
You got some other
He
parts that
lost.
are different, I guess.
dude, come on. Put
He
those,
had a late start coming in from the injuries, so
Yeah.
he wasn't quite ready. But
but 18th.
no, this is it's going south.
Well, I said this last week on one of our pods. I mean, if you're in the position of anybody there that make a technical decision, you have Pussner and Chase on new chassis. You've left Craig, not left, they chose it. Craig, Malcolm, Barsha all having terrible seasons on the old bike, which is combined with parts that they were testing for the new bike, forks, etc. At what point does somebody just go, okay, give him everything for last year, or screw it, you're on the new bike whether you like it or not? Like something's they can't. was in Sandy doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a result. They can't just keep spiraling the circle they're in and thinking something's going to come of it. Somebody needs to make it. Like,
it's just very
decision.
odd to see. Like, I understand you're hurt, banged up, maybe you're sick. I get you salvage 11th, 12th. It's not even that.
No. You hear anything, Kellen, this weekend?
No, it was pretty quiet over there at Gas, aside from Pierce. But, yeah,
Right.
like Barsha hit out a lot of the day, both days. Never really saw him. Haven't seen him in a couple weeks. Because normally he's the guy that goes out and is like, hey, fans, and not going like that right now.
Usually
for a
easy to
week,
catch
right?
after race. I think the only race I've talked to him after is maybe San Diego.
Yeah.
He was a bit talkative, and other than that, I don't see him around much.
No,
And usually he's
it's-
pretty outside.
It's not good.
No.
And I don't know, like, if you're the KTM group, like, why they got to be so difficult? Like, you know, Coop in the 48s and the 52s, and now they're on 48s, and now they got
the
new
whole
frames to
world
try.
is.
And I admire some of their flexibility with letting these guys do some things because they haven't always been flexible, except now you find out with Barsha, like, they're not flexible. You know they got a bunch of 52s from last year laying around and clamps.
Yeah.
Like, they could give it to him. Frame choice, that's his deal. Barsha was one of the guys last year that said the old bike was great,
Yeah.
right? I love it. I'm going
Yeah.
to keep it.
Yeah.
And now you can't. Now KTM seems inflexible again, and I'm just
Do
like,
we know that? Do we know they can't get
I
what
know.
he-
No, I know he has to run 48s. I do know
Yeah,
that.
nobody in the world can run fit. Everything's done. There's no more 52s for any of the racing avenues.
Even outdoor MXGP guys and everything. Like,
Yeah,
they can't-
MXGP's all on 48s,
on
everything.
48s?
Other than, I'm trying to think. Was it Prado? No, Prado's 48s. There was like a little bit at Destinations when the switchover started. Now everybody on GP's on either a 48 spring fork or a lot of them are on a work. There's a bit of Works 48 air fork floating
48
around
there.
Europe.
Yeah, it does seem like I'm with Keefer. Like, hey, we got this guy that's a race-winning podium guy.
Right.
And he's really
He'd be up in the
struggling.
mix.
Let's just give him his old bike. Just give him his old bike, and then we can
I
go.
mean,
Hey,
Doesn't look good for the if your goal is to sell motorcycles. That's why we're all racing, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, we're racing to sell the motorcycles.
Yeah.
So why not do the same thing that when he was doing good, make the brand look good, and let's move it along.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
and you give him all that, and then he does the same result, then it's free whatever you want to do. But at least give him the opportunity.
Right. Yeah, it does seem odd for sure. But panic button is been hit.
Yes. Because I've been sitting here and I'm watching, and I'm like, I tweeted out, I'm like, hey, I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, he's old. I'm like, oh
No,
my
stop.
God.
He's the
dude.
same age as Anderson, Tom, everybody else in this conversation.
Yeah.
Can I give you another panic button?
Yeah.
It's more their career at this point. Christian Craig.
It's not good. I don't understand. I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and his elbow was bugging him. He said he didn't want to use an excuse, but it was bugging him, and it was a little hard. And then he wrote press day. You
And
told me this.
I interviewed him. And,
wrote press day.
and I
Poor
said, like,
Kellen.
how's everything going? Are you feeling good? Yeah, the break was good to me. Got some family
That might be
time.
my
Got
race
back
tech
on the
rant.
bike. Yeah, and then it didn't look like he was riding bad on press day. He wasn't rolling around or anything. He was pushing, trying different lines, all that kind of stuff. And then, oh, he's not racing? Oh, okay, cool.
Kellen's like a little boy Christmas Eve. Santa's coming. Santa's will be here tomorrow, you know? And then they just fuck Kellen over all the time.
Him and Lewis, the LVK pod, they're big on PRs and not getting PRs.
I have
and-
not gone in as heavy
No,
as
but you
Lewis
agree.
has. I
You
do
do
agree.
agree. Yeah.
It can be better. It's,
No, no.
it's obvious that it can be
no,
better.
You're,
So
you're right.
yeah.
But I mean, our sport, like, that could be my race tech rant as far as that goes. Because like, what are we doing? The
Yeah.
guys at press day.
I
And
don't,
then he's
I don't
out
know,
with an
man.
elbow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk to one of these guys. They would
Yeah.
know something about it.
They might know something about it too. All right, Kellen,
Yeah,
we'll
I'll step
drop
out
you
here.
off, and then Ricky and Hot Sauce, grab these two mics here, and come join us a little bit. PulpMX show again, presented by the folks at Motorsport.com and Decal Works and Fly Racing, and of course, please check out those guys for all that you need for the products. Go to PulpMXShow.com and go to sponsor deals for the codes to save, whether it is Maxima, whether it's OGO Power Sports, Guts Racing, all of that. Please check it out, and we thank you guys for coming on board. RC, what's up, man?
I'm just taking notes. You are my co-host. You're number 2 in the
Number 2 podcast.
I don't know, where does he get his stats from? Straight
That's
up.
your guy. That's
Oh, he's been all in lately.
yeah. He's unbelievable.
Yeah,
talking about
he's-
RV?
he's-
about the Triumph.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When we recorded today, and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting texts right now from getting some updates and blah blah blah," and it was so good.
Also joining us, Supercross champion, motocross champion, 3-time Three time.
Three time, yeah.
MXDN champion Ivan Tedesco. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
It's been a while. I think I came on a long time ago.
Yeah, you were going to come on with Preston and Wilbur, and they had something came up. You couldn't make it. That would have been a great show. But yeah, welcome, guys.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
5 years. 5 years.
Yeah.
And we're here. And
Finally.
the bike is here.
It's
All
real.
Of us idiots rode it.
It's real. It's real.
It's not orange.
Right.
Did you guys
right.
think we were just going to get a little piece today of the bike?
I know, right?
They were going to unveil a piece.
You're a
again.
dick. You're a dick.
I'm not the marketing guy, so yeah.
Yeah, but no, listen, this has been a long time coming.
It has.
And it's pretty cool, right? Like, I'll start with you, Ricky.
Yeah,
Kinda
it
neat.
is cool to see something, and then to see you guys. Well, you've ridden it, but to see everyone ride it.
Talking about today was his first time ever riding it. I was excited to see Kris Keefer's first ever lap on a Triumph today.
I'm glad we can. finally pitch
I
that.
was that for me, that's what is so special to see people's reaction, hoping that they enjoy it and appreciate. I know that you guys appreciate it, but just seeing what has taken a while, and yeah, I think it went well today. I was really happy.
It's
This
gotta be
guy
neat,
did a
Ivan,
lot
right?
too. This
Like,
guy.
Yeah, I
did a
mean,
lot.
we've been working on this thing for a while, and
Right.
I feel like it's good, but until we had a day like today where other people can ride it, and
First time you rode it, what was it? I mean, it was not the bike, not the completed bike, but just something with.
first
you know,
time 2020, right after Daytona.
Yeah,
was-
but they didn't have a chassis there. It was just like they had
That
a
was-
couple swing arms.
that was
and
my
some-
first experience working with
Okay.
the team, trying
Yeah.
to navigate what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then from there I just not consistently, but it started ramping up from
Sure.
there because I was still doing the pro circuit testing for Mitch,
Right.
and
Well, I want to talk to you about that because you had a nice thing going with Bones and Mitch testing. You were working with Hammaker. You're working with somebody else. I can't remember.
Ryder D.
Marchbanks
Francisco.
for a little bit too.
Yeah,
Ryder
before
D,
that.
right. So you had a nice little thing going in California and everything else, and obviously triumphed in Georgia, and developing a new motorcycle, and maybe things go wrong with developing a new motorcycle. I mean, probably before you had some you took a bit of a leap of faith,
For sure.
didn't you? Did you feel like that?
For sure, but by the time I had to make that decision, I saw the team they were assembling. That's what really intrigued me. A lot of top tier guys on this program,
Yeah.
and just getting onto something ground floor that really intrigued me.
Yeah.
And just being involved at this level. I was doing the race team stuff. I've never been involved on, from the ground floor. So.
Yeah. And RC, you told me one of the first calls you made was the hot
Yeah,
sauce. like when it was
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And tried calling Tickle also, but he was still active at the time, and he just declined. But always wanted Ivan, of course. I mean, we got a great relationship, and he knows so much. He's so educated on what the bike's doing at a top level as well, not just production-wise, but a top level on the baseline. And I got to give a massive thanks to Mitch from Pro Circuit because I didn't want to step on his toes, and I spoke to him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I spoke to him before and told him, hey, this is what's going on without going into too much detail, but would love to have Ivan be a part of this, but not step on your toes. And,
Right.
if you say no and get out of here, I totally understand that. But I didn't want to, go. Just my loyalty.
I was just talking to a deal for PulpMX, and I had to do a contract, and I was talking
with Mitch.
No, but I needed some advice. I called Peyton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I never wrote for the guy. I never worked for the guy, but I was like, I'm calling Mitch.
Yeah, right.
Because it was a contract language thing and some annuities down the road, and I was like, what do you think? You
Yeah.
know?
There's plenty of times I've gone to him for
Yeah.
Oh,
advice,
dude.
just
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
it's kinda
awesome.
funny
When you
that way.
talk to him, and I mean, I've talked to him a little bit about my kid and just things. He's very black and white.
Yep.
He'll tell you how it is, and then you go away going, okay, I know what I'm getting, right?
And he gives you that advice where you know what to look for. You're like, okay, I know I'm getting a good deal. He just tells you black and white.
Yeah.
You know what to do,
Yeah.
and you know what not to do.
Yeah.
If that deal says this, you don't do it. If it says this, you take it.
Yeah. Michael, today, obviously, we've known about the Triumph for a while. We've known
Yeah.
But you look at Ricky, Ivan, Jeff Stanton, Ivan Cervantes, Clement DeSalle, Edmondson is doing some durability stuff over in the UK. Well, not maybe in him, but like they're doing it right. Like I don't want to bring up other motorcycle manufacturers as guys who did it wrong, but I think we can think of some that did it wrong. Brand new bikes or whatever, or bikes into the American market even. seems like, Michael, these guys are doing it right.
Well, my biggest takeaway from today, after meeting so much of the staff, seeing to the presentation, realizing the openness of these guys, I understand now why everybody we're talking about in this room and we're talking about this event would sign up for something like this. I see now what you guys all saw in this. Because definitely at some point I'm like, there's a part of me that is like, wow, what kind of paychecks do you guys get? How these guys all get convinced to jump on board this idea, especially when I've heard talking to some of how long you guys have been doing it and how long you guys already signed up for beyond this. There's some serious trust there. But again, after meeting them all, I understand now why you guys are involved in this and what they must have shown you to make this happen.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't speak for Ivan, but I think that I can in this regard. You step in if you think I'm wrong, but it starts with Rod, you know? I mean, when you've worked with someone at another manufacturer for so long and you've seen the results, his words speak for themselves, and he is a man. If he says he's going to do something, he does it. If he says he can't do it, he's going to tell you, I can't do it. So you build that trust in someone. And he said, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we are going to do. And, you know, it was a colonoscopy of questions that I had for him, you know, because I just didn't want it to be some half-baked deal. But not that I didn't trust him, but I just had a lot of questions about it. And, dude, he answered them all, was clear and concise, and I never double-clutched one time. And
I feel like he's great at getting the right people in the right spots. You know, like bringing the right people together. And it's been like that. It's been really good.
Now, you tore your ACL a while ago.
I did.
Testing Triumph, I imagine, and then had to get it fixed, right? And now you're back on the bike. So that took you out for a little bit.
Yep.
What do you do during that time? Like, I mean, are you weighing in on testing and your thoughts on things? Or like
so every test I was there, and just doing what I can from the sidelines and communicating with the riders and trying to bridge that gap with the engineers and the riders. And it worked well, you know, and obviously I have some value on the bike. I've been doing it a long time, and we're back on the bike. So just got back on the bike 2 weeks ago.
Oh, was it just 2 weeks ago?
Today was my third day
really,
back on the bike. So
we're going to talk more in depth about the bike later, embargo life. But it seems like
are you guys embargoed?
Well,
Ish. There's an ish.
This one's allowed.
It was a big controversy today. We're going to dive into it. But one thing I took away from it, and Mike, I'll let you jump in too. Everyone at Triumph is really happy with the horsepower to weight ratio. It seems like from the bars to the tire to the frame, they're really worried about weight, and they want to be the lightest bike, and which I believe they're tied for the lightest bike right now. And then, of course, they want to produce peak power, 250F. That's powers everything. And I think they did a good job of it, and that seemed to be the mission goal. Do you agree?
Yeah, it was, for sure.
Yeah. Just to make the bike as light as they can and as fast as you can.
We had our reference bikes, and those are the bikes that we wanted to be as close to or better than as possible. You know, different, you know, as far as a reference bike, as far as chassis goes and engine goes and the 250 stuff, 100%. And that was our benchmark. But it's no secret. All the manufacturers do that. So, and we did as much as we could.
There's no bad bikes anymore, I don't feel like. Michael, you would know more, and Kris, like, there's no bad bikes anymore.
There's better bikes than others, but you can make any bike good, right?
Right.
And everyone talks shit on Suzuki, but I feel like that bike is needed right now because it helps the market because it's not as expensive, so it gets people in the sport too.
But
so
look at Ken Roxon. He won on it 2 weeks ago. I mean, you know.
Right. Yeah.
This guy
that bike
hated
is
01 Cowie and kicked everyone's ass on it.
Yeah.
Said it was the worst bike ever.
No. You know what it was? The 1999 KX125. That one was slow, guy.
Really?
Slow. Oh my gosh.
So it is. There's 450 coming down the road, but it's 250 to start. And I guess Ivan with PC, you've been riding 250F too. So I mean, you had a great career on 450s. You graduated from the small bike class, but I guess like. And between the PC and the Triumph 250, you've been back down to the small bikes for a long time.
I've done a lot on small bikes, and it suits my style. I wouldn't say better on it. Yeah, I'm probably better on a small bike. Obviously, I could still ride a big bike. I've had some success, but the 450 is coming. I'm gonna be doing some of that development as well, and I'm excited for it.
The 450 would be a lot easier and a lot less time, just because so much stuff is already developed that we don't have to develop again.
So I wrote a story for Racer X coming out in the next issue. Ricky, I talked to you about it before. Dave Arnold, who I could talk to Dave Arnold for hours.
Yeah,
I love Dave's memories. Fantastic. Michael, have you done much with Dave Arnold over the years?
A couple times. I've had lunch with him with Ross a couple times and just listened to the two of them. I could sit there for hours.
I have so much respect for him when he told me about how he used to put the Honda Works bikes frames on a jig and move them around and then weld them all night and then test them in the morning. You know, the guy's phenomenal. I'll start with you, Kris. How much have you worked with Dave Arnold at the production side of things, and what's your experience with him?
I don't have much interaction with Dave. He does, interact with the production team at times, but he's mostly Ivan's guy and Ricky's guy, so he directly goes to the race team. But a lot of his influence that since he's been here has leaked into the production stuff. So even though I haven't seen it firsthand, I know that it's been trickled down to us. Right. So because of Dave.
And Ivan working with Dave?
I mean, he's basically like my traveling partner when we go to Atlanta. We share a rental car. Yeah. I get to, pick his brain. I've learned a lot. Yeah. The dude's super smart. Yeah. He's an awesome dude too. He's cool to hang out with.
There's like nothing he hasn't done, man.
Yeah, it's unreal. His stories are unreal.
Unreal. And I mean, even post Honda, Geico hired him. He worked with Eli and John for a little while, right? Doing their stuff. He went to Rockstar Husky for Bobby Hewitt, who runs the race team at Triumph. I mean, Dave, yes, in the 80s he was the man and all that, but he's still very relevant in now.
He's influenced from the background quite a bit over the years. Yeah. For sure.
And Ricky,
I feel like the older generation like that, they still have so much to offer, because even though engineering has picked up immensely, but I still feel there's an element to all of this to where the basics still matter. And those guys have done it, seen it. They did all of the work themselves, not so much computer happening. They had to figure it out, trial and error. And so I feel like guys like that have that experience at that level are tremendous help.
You need guys like him that are seasoned, that's been around. You just can't have a smart guy jump into our sport and expect it to be good. It doesn't work like that. You got to be around the sport. You got to be an enthusiast. You have to know. And then what's cool about Dave is he's just not stuck in his ways. He's strong-minded about him, but he's open-minded enough to let things in. So that's what I think.
And like strong-minded in a good way, and rightfully so. He should be that way because it is probably best, right?
No, for sure. Yeah. If you believe
it's not
something,
strong-minded in a negative way.
No.
He's right for it.
Yep.
Okay, so take off your Triumph hats here, you three.
Yeah, no problem.
And Michael, we'll start with you because you're unbiased. I'm not even unbiased.
Holy shit. Come on.
What do you like about the bike?
I talked to Ricky quite a bit about this after I rode for a minute. Number one is chassis. And a lot of that comes from, I feel like so many of your current bikes, touch feel is becoming an issue, like slap downs, little stuff, just stuff you feel through your hands, just certain harshnesses you can't get away from. And then also bikes becoming a little bit knife edged, getting them so up on the nose, trying to get them to turn. I go to some intros and it's like trying to find the balance point with them sometimes is a little bit of work. I was super impressed out of the box at balance. And then I felt like that your guys' base setting was like a little bit almost conservative, like neutral. And then I wanted to see, okay, like how all these guys have been going up on the nose, like how much can I make this thing turn?
Gotta change the yokes.
Yeah, change the
yokes.
Yoke.
When they said yokes the first time I was over there, I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm surprised I didn't hear
scrambled eggs and
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't hear stanchion more often. I was waiting for that one.
Kris, what about you?
Man, if I'm just thinking about it, I really enjoy the engine, honestly. Like Ricky said, there's been a lot of days where I've had a lot of the other bikes here, and then you break it all down in numbers. And for me, you have to have enough torque in 250 class, right? Because in the small bore class, you got to have an engine. You can have a bitchin' chassis, but if there's no engine, then what are you going to do with it, right? So I like that we actually have torque, and then not just torque, because you got to have something that pulls you around when you're hauling around the track. So for me, it has enough torque to get you out of a corner. I think about us vet guys that get older. We're lazy. You might be in third gear. It has a good pickup, so like if you need to get back up in it, it's there for you, and then it just pulls very far. So it's kind of a blend of it'll allow you to be a little bit lazy if you're lazy, and then it'll pull a fast hyperactive B kid that wants to rev out. It allows that too. So it's a nice blend of an engine.
Ivan?
Yeah, I would agree with him. And on chassis, I think it goes down to that light, nimble feel. It really is a light, nimble bike.
Yeah.
And that engine only, optimizes that.
How obviously it's a production bike made for many people of skill. how much slower is it than a PC race bike? I mean,
The stock production bike.
yeah.
Man, I mean, that's hard. That's a tough one.
I know. Well, look, I'm just trying to like. Obviously, we know what a race bike is, but
I mean, this thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Okay.
to
I mean,
answer.
you rode Hunter's bike. You can answer
Hunter's
that question.
bike was faster. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Hunter's bike was better, motor wise.
Yeah,
But was
it's
the- but was
the
the
production bike isn't going to be a PC. Yeah.
Right. what when you're testing a bike and you're like a new school guy. You haven't been retired that long, but your reputation is starting to take off with testing, right? Whether it was with Bones and the PC team, which I heard a lot about, or now with Triumph, which I didn't hear much about, but we could see the product. You're becoming a real good reputation for a test rider. So, and I've asked Ricky this question too. Like, you're also faster than 95% of us. So how do you test for yourself? How do you think about, hey man, Tubby Mathis is going to ride this thing and he's going to want this, or a vet guy or what? Like, how do you act like that? Because some
that side
fast
of
guys
it's-
don't make good testers.
That side of it's new to me.
Right.
Typically, I've only done the race team stuff, which is go as fast as you can. And
Right.
the closer I could get to their speed, I feel like it carries over to them, the settings. So I would go as fast as I can.
Right.
But when I've been doing some production stuff, I try to just switch my brain. Go a little slower. Try to think of how an average guy would ride and what would he want.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've hit it. And I thank God we have Chris. He's done a lot of
here we
that.
go.
He's done a lot of that work.
Here we go.
So he's been super helpful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Was it always KYB?
yes.
Was it always
Yeah.
like from the first times you guys got on it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I feel is a good package. Like,
Yeah.
Myself personally, I think that KYB from getting the setting right, your window is a bit bigger. I think that Showa does work good,
Yep.
but the window is much narrower. Now that was at a professional level. I don't know if it's that the same at a production level, and you guys have way more experience than me in that. But is it the same kind of in production?
It's the same. There's a lot of comfort within a KYB, and for me, I always say like a show is a performance-based fork and shock, like really good for toughness, right?
Yeah.
But if you need comfort, it's hard to get some of that with Showa. So KYB has more of the comfort side than a Showa setting.
Is exactly right. Yep.
Was it ever a cable clutch or was it always hydraulic?
It was always hydraulic,
Was
right?
it?
Right?
never-
Yeah.
always hydraulic.
I'm a cable clutch guy.
Are you?
I hate hydraulic
So
clutch.
Kiefer, I don't know what he did, but he
Kiefer,
got me
what
my
about you?
Yamaha, and he got my bike with the GYTR hydraulic on it, which is an aftermarket thing that Yamaha does. I'm never going back.
Really?
You're a hydraulic
I'm
guy.
hydraulic guy.
Really?
Why?
So then when I saw that the Brembo on the
Yeah.
Triumph, I'm like, yes, hydraulic guy. I don't know. I love it. Love it.
Michael, you talked about like the deflection or lack thereof, the deflection. I will say this, Kris, before you came on and was a huge help, we worked really hard on that chassis to get it to that spot. Hours and hours and like banging it in the engineers' heads like, hey, we anytime we had that feeling, we'd be like, nope, we got to get rid of this or something.
I can imagine from your guys' standpoint, again, if okay, we're going to use KYBs, we're going to use these tires, these wheels. There's a lot of parts out there you already know what you're going to get from that. So what is it your guys' job to do? Make the chassis work, and if Triumph can build a good engine, I'm guessing that pretty much puts you in position. This is the thing that has to be right because
Exactly right.
not to say the rest of it would be easy, but you probably had more confidence in, hey, we can nail the targets on the other items.
The hard parts of stuff that have to be manufactured that you can't just change like that and pick to change, that's where we really put in extra effort and really, triple checked everything in that department. Yeah.
I have some complaints. Let me know when you want to hear them.
Yeah,
hear
go
'em.
for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious.
The gas cap is hard to get off. Right?
That's facts, though.
Dude.
I mean,
Gas
it
cap is
so-
hard to get
Is
off.
it?
I don't
Yeah.
know what's going
How
on.
Torque
with that.
about on the
Torque bolts.
YZ125s? I used to hit it with my knee and knock
Really?
it off. Yeah.
So Tedesco's coming and like, we did that on purpose.
no, I'm just,
Tedesco told
No,
the
I'm not
designers
saying
one day, hey man, my YOT bikes, I knocked it off with my cap. So
Did
so
he?
Is that why they
I did.
shake?
You did. I did it.
Come on.
At Bercy Supercross. I used to do it during the week, and when you could put it
Like,
back on. But
I don't know if I just have like big mitts or something, but it's so tiny and you can't break
Yeah.
it.
Right?
So do I blame Chris?
No.
I
he
don't
on the
know.
gas cap
I
team?
don't even know whose department that would. It's none of our department.
That's
Okay, so
design.
my
That's
one
got to be a
complaint.
design.
Design.
Thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
My second complaint, Torx bolts to adjust the the levers.
Everything.
Like, what are we doing? No one has Torx. They don't make T
Welcome to
handles and
Great
Torx.
Britain. Welcome. Yeah, they do.
The European, it's Torx a
welcome to
lot.
Great Britain.
Welcome to what?
Great Britain. Not just Europe, but especially, I feel like specifically UK is a lot of Torx.
Yeah, Torx. What are we doing?
Anything good? You got anything good complaints?
Yeah, you told me you liked the engine.
No, I did. Yeah, I felt
You're like, dude, even me, it pulls me good.
I'm way too heavy, and I felt like second and third. I
It
felt
revs.
Like the thing
Are you a
mid to
250
top
guy
was
now?
Strong. I mean,
Tell-
again, I'm way too heavy for it. You know?
Tell RC and Ivan about your feeling about a 250. Tell them.
Yeah, like, like this guy has been going on and about this stupid 350 that KTM has, and he's like, it's the great bike. It's Church of Three. He made some T-shirts and shit. And I rode a 350 years ago, and it was garbage. And I ride a 450 now.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the greatest shape. But today on the 250, I was like not getting tired, my arms weren't pumping up. Like at one point, I looked at my watch. I'd been out there for like 21 minutes, which is, trust me, guys, 21 minutes is a long motion. And I was not tired, and I was able to throw the thing wherever I wanted to go, and it was light, and I was like, is this, like, what's happening? Right? Like, I'm good. I'm still. So is that a 450 to a 250 thing?
It's I get more tired riding the 250.
Okay, so there we go. Do I need to get a 350?
Yeah.
But Yamaha, I love Yamaha. How do we do that?
You better talk to him.
Talk to TP.
Better talk to him.
So do you know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed that. Like I thought it was
So
great.
do you think it was because it's a 250 or because of our bike's that good?
He's got to tread lightly. He's a Yamaha
Influencer
guy.
here.
Yeah, no, listen. I cleared this test with Yamaha beforehand. They're more than happy to.
Dude, let me ask.
Here's
Go
my
ahead.
theory.
So
Yeah.
I was
Go ahead.
thinking to myself out there, like, do I need to get? I was all in my head, like, do I need to
Reconsider? Do you need to
Get
reconsider?
I don't know, man.
Do we got to go work on a new deal for you?
I don't know. Well,
The thing is,
There's a guy coming in the room here soon, I think, that could work that out for you.
I mean, but then now I'm thinking of this guy and his damn 350.
no,
They kept talking
older
about.
guys maybe have trouble with technique, tired, corner speed. I think the lighter, less powerful bike will help those guys. I'm like RC, a 450, I can ride it smoother with less like effort, so I don't get as tired. But for you, I think it's better to go lighter with less power until you get better.
He just called you old.
Yeah.
Like slow and all.
Fine.
See,
That's
I'm,
fine.
Dude,
I'm
really?
Screwed up. I'm screwed up because I'm right in the middle. I'm not as good as them, and I'm better than you. So for mine, it usually has to do with track. If a track's tight, I love a 250. 450 makes
Yeah.
me want to shoot myself because it's too much work for me on a tight track.
Yeah.
Big open track, give me a 450 all
Right.
day.
Yeah. I mean, look, I was all jacked up out there thinking about how much fun I was having and and I was like, some of those turns, I was like, I'm going to go inside. All right, just move the bike inside and go.
You
right?
know what I think I like about the 250 now? I'm learning to like it better than the 450 is on the faster tracks. To your point, I don't feel like I'm going so fast, and I'm always thinking something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
I'm always like all the time when I ride now. I'm always scared something's gonna go wrong. So I don't like the high speed.
Yeah.
It's weird.
something-
But you're probably going just as fast on the 250 though, right?
I know that's the
Well,
thing.
Jeannie's got the
Just like a feeling.
stopwatches. She can go in
Yeah,
the back
right,
and look, and
right.
we can.
That's right.
We can go
I was
back.
gonna joke and say fourth gear on a 450 is scary. I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of local tracks have gone pretty tight. Every once in a while, I'll show up somewhere that's pretty open, and if you're on a 450, you click fourth, you're like, I'm going for a ride.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, I was really enjoying it, and I was thinking
Good,
to myself,
man.
I'm not getting arm pump, and I'm not getting tired. What is going on? You know, because you just know how you feel.
well, I'm
right?
glad you popped your 250F Cherry with Triumph today. That was nice.
Well, I rode Hunter's bike, but
Yeah.
Ricky, for you,
Yeah.
like, and I asked you this before, but not on this show. Like, you're a bajillionaire, and you have 15 titles, and you've already got a full-time job calling Supercross during the week, and God knows those meetings. I hear that they have 18 meetings a week, so you're involved in those meetings.
No, that's Weege and JT,
is it?
but
Okay.
they sign up for those meetings. I
all
keep
right.
telling them, like, dude, you guys are way too nice. You guys are way too nice.
Just ignore a few of those
my
invite
point
emails.
is like
Click
your
no.
your plate is full and your legacy is secure, and you don't need to work as hard as what it appears you're working for Triumph, like from the outside. Like,
Yeah.
so why'd you want to do it? Why'd you know?
That's a great question. So at the time when I got the Triumph offer, it came at the right time. Like I wanted to be part of something and build from the ground up. I had never done anything like that before, and I wanted to be able to share the knowledge and things that I have learned in the past with other manufacturers that I think could help produce what we did, what you guys rode today. So that was one reason why. And at the time, you go back, this is 2019 when we were having talks. I mean, my TV deal wasn't for sure at the time. So that was one reason, just having something to fall back on. And because I love it, not because I have to do it, because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. And it's not hard physical work for me. It's time consuming.
Right.
But I also, I give bringing you on, and bringing other people and putting them in certain positions that really they do the work. So almost like a GM, putting the right people in place. That's what I like to do. So they really do all the hard work. And, I bust JH's chops all the time, but he does a lot of the work, on the marketing side when it comes to my stuff and promoting stuff and things like that. So it's just, I do a lot. I spend a lot of time away from home, but at the same time I enjoy it, and it's not too much, because if it was too much, for sure I wouldn't do it. I mean, I tell JH no all the time. That means hey, you want to go do this? I'm like, nope.
No. And Kris,
nope.
I know we haven't been able to talk about it, but you've been busy.
Yeah.
This dude hates leaving the high desert.
Yeah.
He's like, I make a joke. Remember E.T., the movie E.T.?
Yeah.
And the longer E.T. was away from the
It's
planet.
the first movie I ever saw in the movies.
Oh.
E.T.
He shriveled up. Remember, he got all white and all gross looking because he was away from home?
That was him walking into Ontario Airport to come here.
Yeah, that's him when he leaves the high desert. The longer he's gone, he starts freaking out. And anyways, you've gone overseas a bunch.
Yeah.
You've gone to Georgia. You've been busy.
Well,
The thing what I wanted to comment what Rick you were saying earlier was it's about people.
yeah.
You know how I am with people. You meet someone, I'm around them, you get vibes, you get all these things. And when I got asked to do this, I met some key people, and I wanted to be a part of that because of the people. The people make the product, right?
That's right.
If the people are POSs, then I'm out. I look at the person first, and then the product second.
Right.
So for me, what they were saying, they put this team of people together.
Right.
I saw that, and I'm like, I would love to be a part of that. And we talked about it earlier. He goes in these dinner meetings. He's like a damn college football coach. It gets me pumped up. How he talks and speaks, and then it's motivating, So being around the people is what makes me be less ET. I go to these tests, and I enjoy being around the production team. I enjoy trying to make stuff better. That's what I love. I love riding. You know how much I love riding dirt bikes.
Yeah.
When I see stuff get better, I'm excited. It makes me happy. So that's why, just because of the people. That's what started it.
You're 100% right. And to your point, yes, I've been successful. I'm in a great spot.
Yeah.
But it's the people is why I take
that 97
positions.
title, but you got to talk about everything else.
I know. Dang it.
Just
I
not
want
that
to
97 one.
redo. But I'm not, and I'll tell you, I'm not a day-to-day. I haven't put in the sweat equity that these two guys have. But I'm more of I'm a 30,000 foot view guy. I'm the brand guy. I'm not going to do the day-to-day stuff. I'm not so that's where I feel like it might seem like I'm super busy on the outside, which I am.
Yeah.
I have enough on my plate. I don't need any more, but you put the right people in place. I think someone told me this one time, a way to make yourself look really good is hire people that are better than you. And a lot of people won't hire people that are better than you because they're scared that they're going to lose their position. And I've never been that way ever. And so you guys are better at what you're doing than I am. So you put the right people in place. That's what's fun to me. Putting the right
for
people.
you, you're living in California. The headquarters in Georgia. Obviously, European stuff going on as well. But so you're going to be doing a lot of commuting. That's kind of your deal.
Yeah, just back and forth. 5 days at a time, or whatever it takes. Yeah.
Could we see some Lorettas?
No.
No.
That was
we've been
quick.
talking about
That
that.
was no hesitation.
Dude.
I've had times where I'm like, dude, that'd be fun.
Right.
But I just know once they get there and I'm sitting on the line, I'll be like, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
You'll be
It's
like
hot.
me,
Have
when
you
I
ever
race.
had that?
Yes.
Oh, he has that every year.
It
so
sounds
you did it
fun. You
1 year,
talk
Ricky.
about it, dude. Loretta's. You
Dude,
think about
You're
it.
going this year.
did you?
It was like the first 4 laps of the first moto at Loretta's, and I said to myself, I am a an idiot. What am I doing out here? And I was miserable the whole time.
You're not doing a good.
It wasn't.
Trying to sell them.
It wasn't like I thought it was and remembered it. Now the bikes were 10 times. I feel like Loretta's for me on a 450. The track is way too small for a 450.
I could see that.
With these guys though, Steve, like when they go to these races, I feel like there's more pressure on these guys than an average guy because
Jeremy Martin
they're
beat him or
expected to
ran
do
with
it.
Yeah, and he beat me at the area because I raced a pro sport.
and everybody freaked out like Jeremy Martin beat Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You're
saying.
like, dude, I'm just trying to.
I was probably hungover that day. Who knows?
Well, I did do Mammoth Vet weekend one time. Dude, I didn't have
How
fun.
was that?
Yeah, no.
It's more intense than racing in an outdoor national.
Because you show up, you need to win.
Yeah.
And if it's
You're
not
judged.
a win, it's
I didn't have fun. That's why I'll be honest.
Do you enjoy it?
I still love it, because
Really?
I don't have the pressure like you guys do.
But
Like,
is it? See, I don't know. Like, if it's for me, I don't think it's the pressure. Like, I don't go there thinking, man, I gotta beat this guy or whatever. I just don't enjoy that.
But you guys did it so much, and that was your life, and you grinded day in and day out. I never did that, right? So I don't have that feeling like you guys do, and I can see why. Like, it's gnarly. People don't understand not only everything that they got to do, right, but they got to travel, and then they got to show up to the race and actually do the damn thing and have the job. And if they don't do it, then you got all these people looking at you. It's under a microscope.
Vital MX forum starts saying, Tedesco's washed up. Tedesco sucks.
Oh, I saw plenty of that, Dan. And I was. I was.
So you guys are tripping on a 6-hour embargo. Try 5-year embargo, dude.
No.
That was brutal.
Hey, listen, man.
that was brutal, dude.
Whether it was him or you, I had some conversations with you. Jeff, just nothing, dude.
You guys knew I couldn't
Kona
say
silence.
anything.
Yeah, I think I knew about hot sauce for a while, but Kona silence. Just
Well, until Savachi screwed it up.
did Savachi screw it up?
Savachi was on the show that day, and he kind of just blew it out, and
he
I'm like,
told me
I'm
he
like
had
backing
permission.
away.
Oh, dude, I'm pissed.
He
I'm
told me
like,
he had
as soon
permission.
as I heard it, I'm texting. I'm like, dude, so he can say stuff, and now here I am, been tight-lipped, people just ruining me on social media for no. I'm like, dude, this is. Why are you guys coming at me? I didn't do anything.
Right.
Joey told me he
That's
had
your
permission,
guy.
so I don't know. That's
Yeah, Joey's like, I'm riding.
right.
Next year I'm 450, and we're like, what?
Yeah,
I'm like,
no, I was like, are you? I, knew
I
that.
know, right? Because
Yeah.
Right.
we ain't saying anything, dude.
Right. But 450's coming, and there'll be a chance to ride that bike. And
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to? Never mind.
no, you can't say anything.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
We'll move on. But we're going to talk a little more about riding the actual motorcycle. Myself, Keefer, and Michael Lindsay later on. Ivan, you joined the Suzuki team. You were buddies with Ricky. Joined the Suzuki team. Moved to the goat farm. What was that like? Take us back to being teammates with that guy.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Yeah, we had a good time.
It was good times.
Was
yeah,
it?
yeah, fun
It didn't
time of my
break you
career.
like at first, or
I mean, of course.
No.
Riding with this guy, training. Yeah, of course. There
Yeah.
was days like I suck on a dirt bike. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I learned a lot from this dude. Yeah, it was good times.
That came at a really fun time too for me when you're at Suzuki because I was on my way out.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be retiring, and to be able to mentor him and how well he did in '96 at the beginning
06.
or 06. Gosh, 06. Yeah, like that came at a perfect time.
It was
came at
pretty
a-
surprising you never managed to win a 450 race at Suzuki, or like Supercross wise. Like it seems like you start getting better, and then injury, and then
Yeah, a
hey,
lot of
Ivan's
injuries.
back, and then you could never seem to string together enough races.
Every year, my 450 career
Yeah.
was an injury.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
which
seemed like
you never climb when you do that, right?
And then ironically, on the bike that you absolutely hated, you dominated Lakewood
Did the
National.
yeah.
Go figure.
That was a good outdoor season.
That
for me.
thing was
I
a
hated
pile,
that bike,
dude.
but
He's like, you need to ride this thing one time.
But
we
that
were
was
out at
the
the
one
track.
time I had a period where I was healthy.
Yeah.
And
And you
was
got
able
a,
to get
a ball
fit.
rolling a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting for sure.
That
You guys,
thing
of
was a
course, were Across the
handful.
Nation's teammates as well.
What's the one thing that you could take away that you look back now that you learned from him when you got there?
Just the dedication that this
Really?
dude had, I would say. Yeah, I mean, I know everybody would probably say that, but the dude's.
I don't know.
The
Like
dude
for
did-
me, it's normal. Like
No, I know, but it's not normal for a lot of people in the industry. The level of dedication.
you
I would
never
say.
complain though.
No,
And
I'm
see,
not
that's
scared of hard work.
That's
no,
not
no,
normal.
you're not.
That's not normal either. Not complaining. He's strong-minded,
Oh, dude. Trust, I've spent some time with Ernesto. He used to complain all the time. He'd sleep on the drive to the track. He's like, this is too much. And
was it
he's
hard?
like, dude,
yeah.
he's like, this bike, I'm just a fifth place guy. That's all I am. I'm just a fifth place guy. You think going on this bike ride is going to make a difference? I'm like, dude, you are that close to being a third place guy all the time. And I said, yeah, at that level, stuff makes the difference.
Well,
that takes you from third to fifth.
There was an infamous day I heard from Peyton that Casey was like, he's only winning because you're giving him a better bike, Casey Johnson. And apparently it was like, here's his bike. Go ride it. Like if you think we're giving Ricky better stuff and that's why he's winning, go ride his bike.
I was all twisted up in '97 because I didn't have work suspension and K-Dub had work suspension and Bones always used to say, how'd that kit suspension work for you today? Huh? He loved it. He loved it.
He would, yeah.
Ivan, we went to RC's place in '99. I was working for Red Dog, no lean, and I was back in Florida. I think I've told you this story. We went to RC's place for 2 days. I guess, Timmy wanted to go, and JT was there too. And it was a sand track in the middle of a grass field, just, I don't even know where it was.
Spring Hill Road.
Okay. And Jeannie said 330s. Okay. And it was
Really?
June in Florida.
Really?
Yes. So Timmy makes it 2.5. JT does 2. I can't find Timmy at one point. He's laying in the grass. He's just, he's out in the grass. JH has to get him an IV that night. He was so done. This dude does the 330s on a KX125. Timmy's out. JT's out. Then you didn't do your turns.
Yeah. Oh,
and
dude, I
came
hated
back,
those.
And your mom was so mad at you for not doing turns. And I'm sitting in the driveway going, I can't believe this. Timmy's on his deathbed. JT's dead. And this dude did the 330s on a KX125 and didn't do the turns, and she's losing it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is another level. This is.
Dude. Well, dude,
nobody's ready for this.
When I work with Johnny O, which they're the same person, right?
Yeah.
He would have me some days have 340s.
Really?
Oh. And at one point, he got an off-road tank on my bike. He talked Frankie, my mechanic, and put hour and a half motos. I did it one day, and I'm like, it wasn't that bad, honestly. But I'm like, dude, the thing sucks with the big tank. I can't ride this thing.
We did 340s one time when Ernesto was there. It was when he was on the 125s at Honda. And Craig Decker was there with us, and he did it. And the third one hurt. The third one hurt me. He was on the Mach Yamaha.
Oh, Mach 1 Yamaha. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was on there. The third moto, Ernesto was just riding around, and he didn't wear his jersey for the moto. He just suited up, no jersey. He's like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And he honestly was just rolling around. I'm like, you should have just pulled
Timmy
over.
was white as a ghost. JH had to get an IV from some guy.
Dude, yeah. My buddy
JT
Terry.
was like, I'm
Terry
not even going out there for the third moto. I'm not even I'm out.
Yeah.
And this dude's out there on a 125.
My son's staying with Brownie. Yeah. And Brownie's training, and we talk about Ricky, and then Brownie says the same stuff. He's like, it was just every day you show up, you had to do the work.
You stack it, right? You just start stacking it.
Stacking.
And then
dude, there were times, remember when we practiced on Fridays and then take Saturday off, race Sunday? I would fly home Monday from the Nationals. No. I would ride Thursday morning and then fly in Thursday night. So I would take Monday off. I'd ride Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then I'd practice Friday at the track. Take Saturday off. I had 2 days off. That was standard procedure.
Yeah.
And it was like,
and your body responded to that load. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got sick. So when I hear people say, "Man, I'm overtrained," I'm like, "How?" And it's not. I'm actually curious.
Yeah.
How can that be possible?
Right.
But it happens.
But a lot of it is the mental workload too of it, right? Of just doing that.
Hey, can you tell them a quick story? And I know we're going off the reservation here, but can you tell them the best day you ever had at the farm? Dude, go for it. You can. That was good.
Yeah, so we went to an Elton John
I
concert.
was retired at this stage.
I think I was riding for
Yeah,
Honda.
you
I was riding
were.
for Honda.
You were.
I mean, we tied one on. Like
Okay.
I was.
Elton
we
John.
were
That
all,
Elton John, his last tour.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen that.
4 tours ago. Right?
like full just.
Yeah, he
throw-
come to
throwing up
Tallahassee.
One of those nights.
Yeah.
I'm like on the way to the track. I'm like,
Piano
there
Man's a
ain't-
good song, dude.
Yeah,
that's,
it
that's
is.
Billy Joel. Sorry.
I don't remember it, but yeah.
All right.
But on the way to the track, I'm so bad. Just
The next morning.
Yeah. So I get there. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. The best day I ever had at the farm.
Really?
Ask Big Rick about it.
Times were good.
I mean,
Big Rick
crushed
was
I
tuning
crushed
for
it.
him during the week.
I don't know how
He's
it
like,
happened.
"Dang, you're on it, IT today. You need to go to Elton John more often." I don't know how you made. I don't know how
I
you
did
made
that.
it to the track that
I
morning,
don't know.
That sounds like a page out of Reed's book.
Yeah.
dude.
But I had to show up.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Let's
that's
quickly,
that's
let's
like
touch,
dogger lifestyle right there.
Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's touch Supercross on, and then we got the X-Brand Goggle
Yeah.
Tear-Offs, and then we'll go to commercial break here on the show. Ivan Tedesco, Ricky Carmichael, Michael Lindsay, Kris Keefer. Okay, so it's hard to win Supercross as a rookie. You know that. Jet kind of threw it away. Still has a points lead, though. So I think if you were to balance everything out, to make 2 mistakes, the first crash and then the second one with Vince, and to have the red plate, I mean, that's pretty good, Ricky.
Yeah,
right?
I think he's doing well. I think that this weekend was a hard lesson learned for him. Rarely do you have a nice lead like that in the 450 class, especially this year, and blow it. You know, making the hard call. You do it all the time. He messed up.
Yeah.
That was completely on him. It was no one's fault but himself. And, he's just going to learn. He's learned a lot this year. And so what I look for in him is that he rarely makes the same mistake twice. I thought it was out of pocket for him to run into the back of Freezy. I know how he's coached, and you have to look ahead and look where you're going. Maybe it was the end of the race. Maybe he let his emotions get the best of him, but 2 out-of-pocket mistakes that you can't make. But I still chalk it up to it's a learning year. If it's anything like what I experienced, I feel like them rookie years, it's so easy to get caught in a web, and you're just like, things are happening so much faster, and it's like you don't have a chance to breathe. And I just feel like he's been in that situation a couple times this year, but he has crawled his way out, And it's going to be fun to see how it plays out. I think these next couple weeks are going to be really important for a couple reasons. I think Eli's going to be pretty good. I do. I think he's going to make it down to the stretch.
Okay, so JT and I have been battling, which we always do, but Eli was amazing in Dallas. It's a good stadium for him. He hasn't won. He's in his longest winless drought of his full.
Is he?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
full-time 450 ride career. And
Really?
Like, I'm not taking. He can still win races and he can podium, but
What do you need to see from him?
I
You see him win.
What do you need to
yeah,
see?
I got to see him win, right? Like, I mean, that should have been a third with a crash, right? Still great ride. Should have been a third. We got Glendale going on. I don't see the same consistency out of him. I see more of the Cowie days up and down from him. And, he kind of fixed that on the Yamaha. And coming off a bad injury, he's a year older. I feel like Webb's been better than him. I feel like
100%.
Jet's been better than him. I feel like Chase, until the injury,
Anderson's
was better than him.
been good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not there yet. I just think he's a little off,
They made some changes. I don't know exactly what changes they made on that off week. So they had time to finally make it better. They made it better. His results were better. He was riding extremely well. He got hooked up a little bit there, for a couple positions better. But before that, I mean, he came up a long ways. Him and Kenny, actually.
Yeah.
Kenny rode really well too.
Yeah,
he was
I wasn't
fast.
there,
So
but Kellen
don't.
was saying earlier, Kenny, until the crash was.
Do
How
not
was
be-
Eli's
do
speed?
not
'Cause
sleep.
He came through. How was his actual speed, lap time wise? Like,
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
He was third
Was he? He was. I mean, I was watching
fastest in traffic.
and we didn't pan back on the broadcast
Yeah.
much, but I was watching the time and scoring. I'm like, dude, he's coming up. Those 2 guys did really, really well. So I think for Eli, I think that they did get the bike better. I think that he rode the best he's ridden. I think he rode this past weekend in Arlington, and he gets fire at a track that he's the winningest rider at. And I feel like in this sport, all it takes is that one little, if he wins this week, it's just like, oh, okay, that's how it is.
Right. Ivan, for assuming Jet's the favorite, he's got the points lead, he's the next kid, right? Who's his biggest competition in your eyes? Is it
Webb.
Eli?
Ooh.
Webb. I think Webb is.
Okay.
Yeah. That dude blows me away. Like at Dallas, I wouldn't say he sucked all day, but he was pretty
Yeah,
average,
he did.
right? He sucked. For him, he sucked.
For him, yeah.
Dude, how he pulls that off. I mean, he was average in his heat race too, right? I mean, he wasn't great.
Oh, he got his doors blown off.
That's what I'm saying. Like how he can go
just
in
flips
the main.
it.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it.
Dude,
he's special
right?
in that way. Yeah.
I think like something like that is you can't teach that.
No.
Yeah.
It's unteachable.
Right.
That quality or that trait.
He likes to be pissed off. That's how he performs. Like he likes to get his buttons pushed, and he enjoys it. He's like, yeah, do that to me. I love it.
Like, hey, you suck tonight.
Yeah, tell me. I want to know. Like if I suck, great. Thank you for telling me that. And then, boom.
Yeah.
Like that.
But I wonder what the environment is for him all day when he's sucking like that. Is the team cool with it?
No,
like,
I
because
think
that's a
it's
big
harsh.
thing.
I
Yeah,
think they're
it
on
is.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Star
so.
doesn't fool around like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I,
mean,
think
I
even
think
said in
those
the
guys-
podium, they pretty much, his words were, they sat me down and pretty much told me, you're
Yeah.
riding the shit. And I've even I've witnessed them kind of do that. So I'm down like, hey,
Really?
it's not the bike. It's you, buddy.
Yeah.
But he's, I think, one of riders that you can do that to.
He responds well to that.
Yeah, which I kind of joke. I mean, I feel
Well,
bad saying this,
he
but
did
I don't
too.
feel like
Yeah.
I don't feel like a lot of guys do as much anymore. I always hear
Yeah.
teams show about having to kind of coddle people. Not that many respond well to just being told, "Hey, buddy, step
You
up."
responded
Is
that way, but yeah, most people don't. Like,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
I responded. My mom, my dad only said stuff when he really had to, but most of the time he didn't. My dad was pretty chill, but my mom was really good, and it worked on me. It won't work for everyone, but she would say, "All right, well, if you're okay with getting beat, I'm okay with getting beat." So you're just like,
Yeah, it's not like she yells
she'd
at you.
shame you.
guilt
No,
trip.
she'd guilt trip you, passive
daggers.
aggressive. Yeah, just like, all right, well, you want to get caught, you want to get past going into the corners because you didn't practice it. If you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. Let's load up and go.
That's a great way, though. Like, because
That's
then you
how it
feel
was.
guilty because you're letting her down. You're like, oh, shit.
You're doing it.
Oh,
at
dude, there
that
were so
point,
many
yeah.
times I just like went ahead and did it just so I didn't have to listen to
Yeah.
it, right?
No, for sure.
But truth be told, it helped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
all right, let's do the X Brand Goggle Tear Off segment. We have some questions for.
We actually got him.
X-Brand
What's
tear-off
that?
segment.
We got him.
Yeah, we got him.
Okay.
Yeah.
15-second
All right, X Brand Goggle
rapid-fire
Tear Off.
Q&A.
Thank you for X Brand Goggles. Pulp Show 24 is a code to save with X Brand. I have some sound effects, but it's not working, so I don't really know what I'm doing here.
Okay. Second best.
Second best, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Title 2-4 would never have had this.
Yeah.
All right, these questions are submitted by Corey
Could you imagine
Moser.
us trying
I have questions for Kellen, not for Michael. But because we're running a loose program, I'm going to ask you Kellen's questions.
Okay.
All right? So just stay with us here.
How Kellen are these questions?
Okay, Keefer, you got 30 seconds to answer. These are rapid-fire questions. Rapid fire. All right, Keefer, which aspect of the Triumph bike did you work on or concentrate on the most?
Oh gosh, it's been a lot. So I'm just gonna say suspension.
Okay. Yep.
There you go.
There we go. I got no sound out of there. All right. RC, out of all the guys who you raced over the years, who did you enjoy beating the most?
Chad Reed.
Chad Reed. Okay. All right. All right.
I was gonna say James. So
No.
Nah.
Agreed.
nah.
All right. Ivan, what's the most pissed off you've ever seen Mitch?
Oh man, that's a long list there.
And was it directed towards you?
No, I was usually pretty good on that while I was there, but dude, that's a
You weren't
tough
on the
one.
team with the running shoes, right? You weren't there yet. No.
No,
You heard that one?
no.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
This was the Ramsey Nick Way era. He was mad at everybody, and they all got mailed a set of Nike shoes with hope you put these to use.
Shipped
and,
them.
and Nathan was like not really understanding it. And I guess Nathan was like, "Hey man, thanks for the shoes. That's awesome." Nick burnt them. But Mitch was like telling all his guys, "Here, get in shape. You all need this."
I'll answer one
okay.
for IT. He was so mad at me in 1999 That was when the team was sponsored by Thor Gear, and I had a Fox deal.
Fox deal.
He didn't talk to me for 3 months.
Really?
Came up
At the races?
came up to me. We won Glen Helen. Yeah, like I didn't even test. I ran for the most part. Like we went over to. I remember we were out kind of where towards Rhino lives, whatever that track was out there. And I'm like, hey, Rick Ash went over. Hey, do you got anything for us to test? He's like, if we get done with Nathan, we'll let you have what he's been running all day. I'm like, okay. So anyhow, I won Glen Helen. Didn't say anything to me the whole day.
No way.
And after the moto, after the race, he says, hey, dude, I just want to tell you, hey, I don't agree with everything that's going on. I don't agree with how it went down, but good job today.
Oh wow!
And then
It was uncomfortable, dude, for a long time.
All right, Michael
Sorry.
Lindsay, if you could replicate any track that was in a video game for Supercross or motocross, what would it be?
Namur MXGP.
No, that's a good one.
Oh,
Thank
It's a good one. All right, Chris, X Brown Goggle Terrace. For testing and developing bikes, what tracks are better, East Coast or West Coast?
It goes hand in hand. You need both, right? But lately, we have a lot of good tracks out here to test with, and then the dirt's a little bit better for that, for traction and things. So I'm going to say East Coast by a little bit.
All right. RC, what's the most challenging part of announcing with Weege?
making sure he's got his pocket square right.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I bring extra pocket squares when I know Weege is going to be in the booth. So
awesome.
no, he does a good job. Honestly, there's nothing really difficult. Like anything, just learning what his tempo is like compared to any other play-by-play guy that I've learned.
And him and
worked
Lee are
with.
different.
Yeah,
Like,
completely different.
Yeah, they're different.
They both have different styles, and yeah.
All right, Ivan, X-Brand Goggle. What was the most challenging part of developing the Triumph?
You got to answer this one. You can't.
I mean, I would say just the chassis. That's the backbone of the bike, right?
Yep.
Getting that right.
Yep. All right.
I agree.
Michael, before you could create your own avatar, which rider was your go-to to pick a race? To race. So which rider?
Dude, they're just flaming you, man. They are just flaming you.
I'm going back to MX vs. ATV Unleashed days, and I was a huge Carmichael fan, so Avatar was Carmichael.
Yeah.
Which is the one with Stu's compound? That was my favorite. Alive? Yeah, he knows.
Alive, real quick.
I like doing the Stu compound.
Hold on, let me hand you the
like because we went there a couple times, so it was like actually his house, and you're like, oh shit.
Not the time where you sat in front of the gate.
No, not the time we were looking for him. All right, Keefer, which other OEM does the Triumph feel like or remind you of the most?
It doesn't actually. It's a pretty unique feeling. A lot of guys came up to me today and says, "Hey, I was expecting it to feel like a KTM. I was expecting this," and they're like, "It never did." So for me, when I hop on it, it feels unique.
Feels unique. All right, RC, where do you think Savachi will be in the mix this summer?
I think he'll do well. I think with his experience, I think he gets good starts. That helps. With the field, I mean, podium for sure.
Yeah, I feel like podiums and top fives, right? Like, I mean, I think he's underrated.
100%. 100%. He has a lot of knowledge. Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Evan?
Yeah, if we get him comfortable and he's in a good spot, he's capable of winning.
He's been hurt a lot too. Like he's had really good Supercross and then he gets hurt. So stay away from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ivan Tedesco, X-Brown Goggle Terrace. Favorite Kenny Watson saying or story?
Oh my gosh,
I mean, we got
guys!
the poop story a bunch on our
I got
show.
a good story.
Right,
So
we got the poop. You were
I
part
mean
of that?
that's probably been told how many
Yes,
times.
yeah,
So
that's
don't
a
even
lot.
tell it. Okay,
Right.
won't even tell the poop story.
I don't know the poop story.
No.
No, tell it.
So he had to drive my motorhome back from Washougal National, and it was used all weekend, and he had to empty the crapper. So he pulls into the RV place, hooks up all the hoses, and then pulls the trigger, but he didn't have the hose on all the way.
No.
So the thing just flooded him.
Oh my gosh.
And he slipped on it. He was on his back. He said it was running all over him. I mean, shit everywhere in the parking lot.
Oh my god.
And he goes inside and takes a shower, and he's got people behind him waiting to dump theirs. And he just left. Just bolted out of there with crap everywhere.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh my!
Then on the way home, the windshield fell out of the thing, so he had to drive like 2 or 3 hours with motocross goggles on. because the bugs were just.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine Watson driving down the freeway with
Oh,
goggles
my
on?
God.
Oh wow.
So it was a rough trip.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he told me the story when he gets home, and I'm like, that's shitty.
Dude, he was at the farm one time. You were there, and I was doing something, or I was riding that day, and I don't know, I peeled my toenail off or something, and he's like, hey, you know how tight we are?
Oh, dude, yeah.
He picked my toenail up and put it in his mouth and started chewing it. That's how tight RC and I are. I'm looking at him. My dad, you were there because dad was working for you. I'm like, oh my gosh, no way this guy just did this.
Oh wow.
Love it.
Some
Love
of
that
the-
guy.
We
right
could go
here.
on and on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's endless stories. I mean, people used to say
He's
like,
got
in
a good heart,
even in the
dude.
RCH days, he would call there if something wasn't like there, the graphics or the wheels or whatever, and he would just be like yelling at the phone, "I'm gonna come down there. I'm gonna take a shit on your desk if I don't get these graphics by tomorrow."
Just ruthless.
Yeah.
He's
all right,
hilarious.
ML. Who was quote unquote flying at the test track today?
Oh, for the test.
Yeah, not a video game question.
Desal was an easy one, but I've never seen Ivan Cervantes ride moto. He freaking rips on a motocross track.
He does.
I actually got him confused because he had the 25 on his bike. My film guy goes, dude, who's the dude on the 25 ripping? I'm like, oh, that's Desal. How do you not know that? And then I see the 25 go by. I'm like, oh, that's Cervantes. Like, dude gets with it.
He rolls.
He's not scared.
Honestly, he
No.
was throwing the best whip off the second track we rode, the step up at the top bigger than Clement. Like, he was tossing it.
Yeah.
No, he was
Did you guys have much interaction with Desal before getting involved? Like
He came in late.
they did, yeah.
He came in late. Yeah.
'cause
It
you
was.
you
It
both raced him.
was
Positions
Cervantes.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It was just us, Cervantes. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Desal
from the
coming
early
in has to be because the team that's running the MX2
Yeah,
group,
Thierry and them.
yeah, they ran him in
Yeah.
MXGP during probably his
That's
most
right.
successful run.
Exactly right.
Oh, so that's where that kind of came from. Oh, okay. All right.
When they were the Cowie team, that's
Right.
Clement was running for.
All right, that's been the X-Men Gargle Tear-Offs. Thanks to those guys for coming on board. And we still have the Race Tech rant and the motorsport.com tweet at me segment as well coming on board. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
Ivan
having
Tedesco.
us on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Glad
thanks
you,
for having
it was cool to see you ride today. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
the conditions were killer.
Well,
It was a
we
great
didn't
day.
talk for like 10 years, and now we're talking all the time.
Dude, we're
I
tight.
called you last week. I see it
How
today.
tight?
I send you
Weech
behind
photos.
the scenes
Yeah,
photos,
yeah,
like
fantastic.
giving you
Ricky and I were
ammo.
not
Yeah,
friends
you guys
for a
are
while.
tight.
That's right.
Tight. Are you
But
toenail
tight.
tight?
No, we are not.
No, we're never going to be toenail tight.
Never. But it's great. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
dude, it's
appreciate
been
it.
fun. It's
Yeah.
been good.
And Ivan, great to see you again. Good luck with everything, of course, as
Appreciate
always.
it.
Back on the bike, so that's super cool to see.
Yep.
And yeah, man, continued luck, and we'll see you at Loretta's,
Thank
I
you.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be there hanging out.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's Ivan Tedesco, Ricky Carmichael. Going to a commercial break here on the show. Kris Keefer, Michael Lindsay, Kellen Brauer will come back in. We're coming in with Jeff Stanton and Rod Lupasnak from Triumph as well. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Triumph program, and then we'll move on to talk about the bike a little bit. We'll finish up the show here. But thanks, everybody, for listening. And again, thanks to the sponsors. All right, be right back after this, everybody.
At motorsport.com, our ride started in 1999 with a commitment to making your next ride your best ride. We take pride in having a huge selection of gear, accessories, and OEM parts for moto, street, off-road, ATV, and UTV. Riding is what connects us and makes us a family. From the track to the trail, tarmac to open roads, we're all connected because we ride. And that's what motorsport.com is all about. We've got your back. Our unrivaled and dedicated team of gearheads are willing to go that extra mile. No gimmicks, just high quality parts, the best customer service in the industry, and free shipping on all orders over $79. Our passion at motorsport.com is to ensure your next ride is your best ride. This is our invitation to you, from riders for riders. Visit us at motorsport.com.
You likely know Racetech as the suspension and engine tuner of choice for the world's fastest privateers. But what you may not know is behind the scenes, Racetech is the trusted source for many OEMs and factory teams throughout the motorcycle industry. For nearly 40 years, Racetech has been producing high-performance suspension and engine components and services right here in the USA. Racetech doesn't just specialize in motocross. In fact, they have many off-road, hill climb, flat track, road racing, and supermoto championships on the mantle as well. Not a racer but want to smooth out the ride on the street or add some performance to your Harley? Racetech offers a full line of suspension solutions including industry-leading built-to-order G3S custom shocks. All Racetech products are 100% guaranteed to exceed your highest expectations. Don't wait. Experience the Gold Valve Advantage today by logging on to racetech.com. Don't forget to mention PulpMX when ordering for a discount.
Established in 1989, Eric Phipps had the idea to manufacture factory-styled products for the everyday rider. Working out of his garage, Eric quickly gained a reputation for producing quality products and having great customer service. In just a few short years, the factory team started calling looking for products as well, and as the saying goes, the rest is history. Fast forward to 2024, and they are on their 35th year of producing high-quality products while still providing exceptional customer service. While they are no longer working out of a small garage, they are still producing the finest products available. Teams like HRC Honda, Star Racing Yamaha, HEP Suzuki, Phoenix Honda, BarX Suzuki, AJE Motorsports, Solitaire Yamaha, and countless privateers still rely on the same quality products that are available to you too. Products like their Pro Launch start device, radiator braces, skid plates, clutch perches, and tons more continue to be a staple in the pro pits and amateur scene as well. Check all they have to offer for your ride at worksconnection.com. Use the code PulpMX20 to save 20% off your order.
With over 80 years' experience manufacturing power sports pistons right here in the USA, Wiseco has evolved into a full range of performance components for dirt bikes and other power sports machines. Whether you ride a 2-stroke or a 4-stroke, Wiseco has a variety of pistons from reliable forged replacements to the performance-focused Racer Elite series. Wiseco offers race-proven components for the rest of your engine, too. From garage buddy engine rebuild kits, clutch and valve train components, USA-made Racer Elite connecting rods, and their CB4 thermal protection line. Wiseco is proud to be a technical partner with Factory Honda HRC for the 2023 Supercross and Motocross, driving professional-level product development that gets passed down to you. Visit your favorite online or local dealer or wiseco.com to find products for your machine.
It's time to elevate your life. At LiftedTrucksForSale.com, we put you in the driver's seat of your dream truck today. LiftedTrucksForSale.com is your one-stop shop for brand new custom trucks from every major manufacturer. Full factory warranty, available financing, and a hassle-free ownership experience. What are you waiting for? Visit liftedtrucksforsale.com today.
Factory Chassis Parts, established in 2018, is the home of the original high-performance FCP racing engine mount kit, designed to improve traction, handling, cornering, and feel. Used by top-level racers and race teams worldwide, including Phoenix Honda, Justin Starling, the F&H MXGP Kawasaki team, Rock River Yamaha, and many more. CNC machined parts out of high-quality aluminum and titanium. They are easy to install and bring drastic improvements right away. Stop by fcpracing.com to learn more and order today.
Maxima Racing Oils was created for world-class racers who challenge the limits of possibility. Their demands on equipment drive us to look beyond conventional ideas and to exceed industry standards. It's in our DNA to identify problems, formulate solutions, and execute at the highest levels of competition. Case in point, the championship-winning Factory Kawasaki race team, longtime Maxima partners who extensively use Maxima throughout the bike. Maxima's USA-made products exceed JSO requirements and can be used in all motorcycle brands: Kawasaki, Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, KTM, Husqvarna, and more. Maxima Racing Oils. Experience the difference. Visit MaximaUSA.com for more information.
I'm Cooper Webb, and I choose OGO.
I'm Christian Craig.
I'm Dean Wilson.
I'm Aaron Plessinger.
I'm Jerry Martin.
I'm Nate Thrasher.
I'm Shane McElrath.
I'm Hunter Lawrence.
My name's Jett Lawrence.
I'm Jordan Smith.
I'm Tal Hawkins.
Stargate Hampshire.
I'm Hayden Deegan.
I'm Colt Nichols, and I choose OGO.
And I choose OGO.
And I choose OGO.
I'm Tom Biala. I choose OGO.
And I choose OGO.
And I choose OGO.
I'm Jiren Ferranges, and I choose OGO.
In 1990, my dad, Jamie Gregg, started Guts Racing. Guts stands for Gregg's Ultra Trick Seats, because I was just a little kid that wanted a trick seat. And if you're out there looking for a trick seat, go to gutsracing.com, your local dealer, or Motosport, and place your order. Support the people that support PulpMX. You can use Pulp 2024 for 20% off at gutsracing.com.
FMF Racing is proud to celebrate over 45 years of fun, building every FMF exhaust right here in the USA. Owner and founder Don Emler may have started FMF Racing in his garage 45 years ago, but Don is still hands-on in our 100,000 square foot state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in Southern California. FMF's goal? Design and manufacture the world's best performance exhausts 100% in the USA under one roof. FMF is a proud sponsor of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship for over 25 years.
Hi, it's Tomax superfan Dylan here. The only thing I love more than seeing Eli win...
Whoa, wait, Dylan. Sorry to cut you off like Steve does his callers and guests, but a lot has changed. Similar to your favorite rider being on a new team, the new Michelin Starcross 6 tire range provides significantly improved performance and durability. Designed to win. The new Michelin Starcross 6 tire range offers up to 16% more traction when new and up to 19% more traction when worn in comparison to the previous generation. This means consumers will not only benefit from improved performance on their first few rides, but that this performance increase will continue throughout the extended life of the tire. Michelin is a legendary innovator in motorcycle tire technology, and thanks to Michelin silica technology, the Michelin Starcross 6 tire range provides up to 11% more durability than the previous generation. This means consumers will enjoy the significantly improved performance throughout the increased life of the tire. Take it from me, as I too have to buy my own tires, this added value is great news. The new Michelin Starcross 6 tire range is available in 6 versions, specifically sand, mud, medium soft, medium hard, and hard versions, with the naming designation corresponding to the type of terrains and conditions where the tires were designed to win. Another innovation is the Michelin adaptive design, with specific positioning of the tread blocks in 3 zones: central, intermediate, and lateral zones, with the single goal to offer exceptional grip for the front tire and exceptional grip, traction, and longevity for the rear. To learn more about the new Michelin Starcross 6 tire line, and all the quality products that Michelin offers for motorcycle segments that Steve cares nothing about, visit michelinman.com/motorcycle. And then visit your local dealer or online retailer to choose Michelin product to maximize your riding experiences. Also, too, make sure to follow at Michelin Motorcycle on Instagram and Facebook.
Attention riders! Welcome aboard the all-new Atlas Vision. We hope you enjoy the added mobility, quicker flight time, and additional views. Please follow along as we outline the safety features of this revolutionary device. The first thing you will notice is the added headroom. The fore and aft positions no longer come with annoying restrictions, so feel free to move about the cabin. Quicker flight times can be achieved by unmatched comforts and unencumbered movements. Yes, we're built for speed and comfort. And now available to all customers is a 360 panoramic view. Go ahead and look around the cabin. These new angles are available at no additional charge. Located on the underside of the frame is the gold standard of impact absorption, D3O. In the event we accidentally take a trip to Indonesia, we suggest that you remain with your neck in the underextended position and allow this proven material to do its job by reducing the forces over 50% better than ever before. Although the Atlas Vision will not be noticeable, it will be there when you need it. If you are riding with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your vision first, and then assist the other person with a Prodigy, Tyke, or Brole. We ask that you keep your brace on until your moto is finished. We remind you that Atlas makes flexible neck protection. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the product is prohibited by the limited lifetime warranty. You will find this and all other safety information in the user manual located online at atlasbrace.com. At this time, we ask that you remain standing with throttles in the wide open position with your elbows up and hips fully unlocked, whatever that means. On behalf of the captain and entire crew, thank you for flying Atlas Vision. Enjoy the views.
From beginners to seasoned vets, race teams, project builds, and
I was saying everybody else wasn't. I could hear Mike's.
So thanks everybody for listening. Appreciate it. And again, I want to run down the sponsors: Motorsport.com, Fly Racing, Decal Works, X-Brand Goggles, Michelin, Renthal, Race Tech, Cherby's, Firepower, Maxima USA, OGO Power Sports, ORW, Pro Filter, FMF, Guts Racing, Renegade Race Fuels, Atlas Neck Brace, MotorcycleIndustryJobs.com, Works Connection, Get Data, WUSA, Wiseco Piston, LiftedTrucksForSale.com, Factory Chassis Parts, Ethica, MTX Braking, all on board with us. Troll Training as well. And Kris Keefer, Michael Lindsay, of course, back in as well. We got the Race Tech rant coming up. Keefer, you're my subject to that.
Can't wait.
And then also Michael Lindsay as well from Vital MX. But for now, we got a couple more VIPs from Triumph. First up, he is the president of Triumph America, Rod Lapuzniak. What's up, Rod? How are you?
Fantastic. Just happy to be here.
Yeah,
happy
thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Happy with today.
5 years? 5 years.
Yeah, right on the cusp of 5. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool moment then for you, I guess, huh?
Oh, amazing. For me personally, just being a dirt bike kid, but, coming to Triumph, I would have never thought, I've been here for 8 years, and when I came over, I thought the dirt bike days were gone,
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me, when they started this project, I was really blown away with it. And to see it go from a whiteboard, literally, in 5 years to all the people.
This man knows a thing or two about dirt bikes, knows a thing or two about winning races, 6-time Supercross motocross champion. Jeff Stanton, what's up, 6-time? How are you, man?
I'm great.
Pull the mic. You got to put this thing on top. There you go. And
wow,
this way and around.
Jeez.
We'll get this here.
These remote shows, quality.
That's great, yeah.
I know.
Makes it more fun.
You're all right. Everyone
There it
relax.
goes.
There we
Okay.
go.
Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it.
My wife will tell you I turn into a pumpkin at 9 o'clock. But it's all good, bro.
I did ask Nate. I said, hey, see if Jeff's feeling it. So, I'm glad you're making an exception for me.
No,
as well.
it's all good.
We rode Gatorback today, and I rode it in 98, and I was here as a mechanic in 97, and you rode it your whole career.
Yep.
This was the best I've ever seen Gatorback, Stanton.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot different than it was when Bradshaw and I battled like no tomorrow, 91, 92. Dust pit, square edge, choppy.
Right? There's no way you liked this place when you raced it, right?
No, you couldn't have liked this place. Hey, love Bill West in the West family, but they didn't prep tracks back in the day like they do now. I mean, it's to be expected.
Yeah, it was fun today. It was really fun. I was out there going, I just was like, this place is great.
Absolutely.
So
no, Wynn's done a great job with it. It was prep perfect for us today, and we had a great day. We couldn't be happier.
RC Tedesco, Clement DeSalle, Ivan Cervantes, Kris Keefer. You got Bobby Hewitt. You got Jeff Stanton involved in Triumph. This is for real. Like, you guys aren't fooling around with the star power here.
Yeah, it's a family. You know, the Rod's put a family together. They had a dream, and it's been 5 years, and it's been unbelievable. I tell him all the time, I pinch myself. You know, I tell my wife that I pinch myself. Why am I in this position? I understand, but I'm super humble. You know,
right?
And it's been a great family, and it's been awesome for what they've done for me in the adventure side, and then to be a part of the moto and see this whole thing develop. You know, we sat at Detroit together, and I'm like, dude, what you've done here, it's unbelievable. It's like, you know, we're racing against all the other manufacturers that have been doing this for 60 years. And this has happened in a 5-year program, and we're pulling the whole shot on the first race, and they're doing amazing things in Europe. So pretty cool project.
So I'm interested to see your involvement, and we got into it with Vicky earlier. You had Jeff Stanton Off-Road Adventures. You started 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. And you know, just something to do, ride in northern Michigan. It's beautiful up there, the UP and all that, because it's so close to Canada. That's why it's beautiful. But you pick Triumphs, you know, just as for sort of the adventure touring bikes, and I didn't really think anything about that. Like, okay, Stanton's got Triumphs, and you can go ride with him and ride with Bradshaw and your special guest. Really cool deal. And you can follow that on Instagram, although you're booked for 24, so why am I even pumping it? But,
no, I pump it. It's all good.
But did the Triumph thing for the off-road, did you know a dirt bike was coming through Rod and you were aiming for that? Because I feel like this was all sort of a coincidence, or maybe not.
Well, Ricky talked about putting a team together, a family together, and it's because of Ricky saying good things to Rod about 6-time.
Oh, okay.
Rod called me one day. I mean, I'll never forget it. I tell the story all the time. My wife and I are out on a run. We're running the National Forest, and I get a call, and it's Rod. And he's like, I know you, but you don't know me.
Yeah.
But I understand you want to do an adventure business, and we're in. And so I told him the story about Honda. I went to Honda when they came out with the African Twin. I went to them for 3 years in a row, laid out a program. I went X amount of bikes. We'll rotate them through at the end of the year. If people are riding them, people are going to buy them. That's just how it works. And they're like, no, we don't see it. I did that for 3 years. I get the call from Rod. He's like, hey, I understand you want to do an adventure business. We're all in. If people are riding our bikes, they're going to buy them. We want to sell bikes. Let's go. That's how our relationship. That's how our relationship started,
really,
and it just kind of steamrolled from there. The MX thing's going, and they're having me involved in that. And that's what I say. I pinch myself daily. I'm like, why am I in this position? Where I'm at?
Rod, when you called Jeff, you knew the motocross bike was coming, but obviously couldn't really tell him. But like, I'm sure the gears are in your mind going like, hey, maybe we can get Jeff involved.
To get somebody else like him, you know, 6-time champion, is just amazing, right? You know, and of course Ricky's endorsement of the whole thing, and he's like, Jeff's one of the best people I know. You have to call him, and you know, you guys will love each other. You know, get in touch personally. You'll enjoy each other. But then, you know, from the whole business side and the adventure side for Triumph is a huge piece of our puzzle, right? You know, we're super aggressive in it, and then to have somebody like him on the forefront of that in our country is amazing. For us.
I feel like that adventure touring, and Simon Cudby's a buddy of ours that you know is deeply involved in it. Is just, I feel like it's really taking off. Like it's small still, but in the grand scheme of things, like people are really discovering that and enjoying that. Chris, I'm sure you've seen that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of it where I live too. People are just, you know, taking trips, and they're taking it on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
I think Simon calls me once a week saying, I need bikes for pictures. You know, I'm in the desert. I'm here, you know.
So and forgive me because I'm motocross, supercross guy. And I know the Honda African Twin sells out and they love it. It's a great bike. Is the Triumph?
Yeah,
is it as good as anything? Like,
I would say our hero models, the Tiger 900. You know, we absolutely own that class.
Okay.
You know, it's our number one bike. Jeff loves it, but Ricky loves it. I mean, anybody who adventure rides, I think you know that's definitely our top tier.
Right.
Everybody loves that bike. We're definitely the leader in that segment. We make it an amazing 1200, you know, and then we also have a Tiger 660. So yeah.
So you have 4 different models, 4 different sizes.
We have an 850 as well.
Yeah. So I know Yamaha came out with theirs.
Tenere. They've had
so
some
Yamaha's
Teneres.
like, hey, we're in too. Like,
and they sell every one they make. You can't get a used one, a new one, or nothing.
Yeah.
And so it's just the hottest market.
Bradshaw's trying to put some KY48 KYBs on his. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, he's like, oh, I got a clamp guy, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
It's just the hottest selling market right now. And for me, my client is a guy that's 55 to 65 that was a fan, rides moto, rides enduro, comes and does the adventures, and we tell.
You got to tell them the 92 Coliseum story.
We tell stories and sit by the campfire, and that's where it's at. You know, they ride our bikes, they buy them, and that's what we're doing. I'm showcasing how beautiful Michigan is. They're hanging with myself. We're riding great product and having a good time.
And when Damon jumped on you got on.
Yeah, I called Damon. I'm like, hey, I can fill adventures, and you're a bonus. Come on in. And so he came for a 3-week stint, and people.
You got to get this RV guy on board. Like he's a riot. First of all, right? He'll be barbecuing and smoking at night, and then
I'm not sure
beer.
I can handle all the alcohol that's consumed.
I feel like this would be right up RV's alley.
Yeah, I'm with Jeff. I don't think I can handle it either.
No, Ryan, I get along with Ryan good. He's
so
good dude.
the motorcycle bike today, the launch, pretty cool. Gatorback was awesome. What do you think of the bike?
No, I think the bike's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I've had the opportunity to do some stuff with it before, and so they've done a great job. You know, you see the crew that they put together, and they had to come out and be successful. They couldn't come out and be 60%. It had to be 100%. You know, we've talked about it a bunch in the last couple of months leading up to this. I'm like, we have to do this, and this, because first impression is everything.
Yeah.
You got all these guys that sit in front of the computer, and the first impression has to be awesome.
Yep.
And it's sink or swim.
Yep.
How many times did I tell you that in the last 2 months?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This day was sink or swim, and I think we did a great job. We adjusted the bikes. We adapted to people, and
today was the American and the Canadian guys.
Correct.
And now we got 3 days of European journalists coming in, and so you're here for 3
So it's a long week.
Doing it all over, but they do these launches all the time. I've been fortunate enough to go to Spain when they do the Tiger 900 launch, and they do it the same way.
Yeah.
They do the presentation, and you know, we take care of the people, and I go ride with them and intermix with them, and it's been working great, and it's.
Did you guys enjoy it? Did you like today? Was good.
Yeah, it was great. Fun. It was really fun. Yeah, I mean, again, like. Kris and I explained this in a Race Rex video. I mean, he helped develop the bike, right? So, I mean, he's got so much time on it. It's no fun. And I'm an ambassador for Yamaha, so I get bikes from them. And, you know, I'm Blue Crew guy. So we're trying to not, you know, be super biased guys, right? Him for the Triumph and me saying, oh, I love Yamahas. But, dude, yeah, we had a great time. The bike was fun. And I think what Jeff said, too, like, and I said this earlier to start the show, and I don't want to name any names, but there's been manufacturers that come in and, A, they can't get in the top 10. B, they push their bike off. Now, you guys had a rough Dallas, but nothing to do with that's just racing. They push the bike off. They can't get top 10s. They kind of don't, you know, they run a race team that you're like, who's involved? Like, what has anybody done on this team that in the sport, right? And then they predictably have poor results. I feel like you guys, there's some serious influx of cash here as far as ambassadors and testers, and you did it the right way. You got one chance for first impression, and the bike is great. Like, I feel like, I mean, we talked about it. You know, you feel like it's as good as all other bikes, and better in some areas, maybe worse in others. But the fact that it's with the 60-year-old Japanese bikes, you know, and everything else at first run out of the box says something.
It's well said. Yeah, it's amazing.
You know, so I think it's pretty good. It was a fun day, and yeah, you can see there's a serious effort here from Triumph. Right, but Rod,
and if you knew the family and you knew the owners, that's the way they take it, right?
Yep. Serious, they're 100%. They're in. They're all in.
Yeah,
you know, it's not really a marketing tagline. I think that's a true statement. Since, you know, once they said we're going forward with this, it was 100% committed to it. You know, building a whole new dealer network basically because we don't have any off-road. You know, our dealers don't have that off-road experience.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that a little bit. Let me just divert. So, you know, Triumph hipster bikes and so obviously the adventure stuff, but you know, we know the image.
That's our culture. Yeah.
So you have to, you know, we heard from yesterday 90 dealers are signed up right now, I believe, or was it?
It's over 100 now today. But
okay. You have to, you know, we're sort of a unique crowd. Dirt bikers. We're redneck, you know, greasy guys. I don't know however you want to say it. We walk into these dealerships. You guys have to, sort of retrain the dealers, hire the right people. Or whatever you mentioned, you have to have a certain amount of floor space for the off-road section. This isn't going to be easy for you guys to do this, right? Like, I imagine some dealers are like, you know, screw the dirt, you know. But it's a segment that can make money, that can sell bikes.
Sure.
So,
well, that customer's going. You know, he's been driving past the Triumph dealer for a long time, and you know, as I said, in the last 7 years, the segment's nearly doubled. So there's a massive opportunity. We don't see it slowing down, right? Off-road's a big piece of our country, our culture. So, Triumph, which, to your point being, the hipsters, or what we call our classics, our modern classics, then, we've expanded into adventure bikes, and then, we really created the Street Triple, the Roadster side. So now how do we further that, become a full-line motorcycle brand? And really, this is a big piece of it. The average age of a Triumph customer today is 47 years old, right? It's slightly on the higher side, not as high as some brands, but how do we get lower, right? Because the goal is to bring more business to our dealers. So how do we double that? From the average Triumph customer buys 4 new motorcycles in their lifetime, our goal is to get to 8 and, drive that average age down to 36. And the awareness factor that Supercross brings to our brand is just absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? To get in front of 50,000 live fans, 1.2 million people who watch it live, all the stuff that you guys do a great job with. It's just an amazing opportunity from an awareness standpoint to really focus on the brand, and get the name out there. It's going to help explode our brand. And along with that piece is, we're also introducing entry-level street bikes, right? Because we're going to bring younger people to the brand, and then, we're introducing a brand new Daytona 660 sport bike, so continue driving it. So now we're not just going to be that 40-plus customer. We're going to drive it down, to where people 15, 16, 17 years old, whether it's on-road or off-road, are going to be buying a new Triumph, right? And then they become a lifelong customer. Because at 47, we missed the first 30 years, right, of business.
There won't be Triumph off-road only dealers. It's going to
No.
It'll be incorporated to existing dealers.
Correct. So there's dealers that are Triumph exclusive dealers. They got the street bike and the moto section. But I've been to a bunch of Triumph dealers where they are multi-dealers.
Yeah.
They're all the other manufacturers and Triumph as well.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
I was so curious, Rod, like when it came to the decision to move into developing the motocross project, like you said, there is multiple reasons, whether it's expanding Triumph's notoriety in front of this market. Biggest one I stand out is, okay, with your adventure bikes, everything else, you guys are reaching a younger audience that eventually will become a customer to the rest of your product line. What was, I guess, like the main target that started the conversation? Was it, hey, we can double our business, we can be good in moto? Is it the age demographic? They all add up, but what was kind of the first aha of like?
Just raw data, when you go back, if you go back just, 6 or 7 years, the segment was under 100,000. Now it's 160,000. So no other segment in our industry has grown like that, right? So, when you look at that data, we're in the motorcycle industry, we're in the motorcycle business. So it only makes sense, hey, we have to start looking closer at this, right? And then the opportunity made sense.
And then basically the phone calls, the people you're calling. I mean, first off, the call you had to make to Ricky once you guys got the green light to do this. As Bruce said, you're very good at putting the right people in the right places. Other than Ricky, who are some of those first phone calls?
Well, I mean, we reached out to a ton of people just to see who was interested, who would take us serious, right? Just to make sure that we are putting the right. We've spoke to a lot of people to start with. So then it's who fits into the Triumph culture, right? Because that's a big piece of it. We want to be a little bit different than every other brand. It's a piece of our business. We want to totally be true to ourselves, being distinctive, cool, authentic, and premium. That's who Triumph is, right? That's a big piece of our culture. So it's, people that can fit in there. Even, when I spent a long time with Ricky at Suzuki and getting his buy-in at first was, are they serious? They have never done this before. And, you can tell when you started talking to people, some people would take us serious and some wouldn't at the very, beginning of this, right? It's a challenge. It's an arms race. We're in a tough industry. I mean, those 7 brands doing an amazing job. They've done it for a long, long time. So to get that credibility, we needed somebody like Ricky or Six Time. I mean, that's a big piece of it. So getting him to come for the company that early on, and we were at a whiteboard stage, was a huge piece of the puzzle, and that's when other riders, Bobby Hewitt, everybody starts to take you more and more serious. If Ricky's going to commit and put his name on something like that, who's, as you talked about earlier, he's built a legacy. He doesn't need any help from us, right?
And he's got $1 bajillion. So he's also, he's been divorced, but so he's half a bajillion now. But whatever. He's still, he doesn't need to do it.
No, I mean,
but it's no different than myself. You have the passion to do it.
Yeah.
You have the passion to ride adventure bikes, dirt bikes, and if you have the passion and that's your love, that it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Sure.
From the time this came up, like dirt bikes, from the time they said Triumph goes, yes, we're going to do it. How long is that?
Oh, so when we first, when we had breakfast with Ricky, the morning after Vegas in 2019, I would say it was 45 days.
Oh, wow.
Where,
oh wow.
When our chief product officer he left and I said, what's the time frame? And he's like, we'll know in a short time.
Okay.
And that's the nice thing. We talked about it a lot this week or today. Last 2 days with you guys being here. We're a privately held company. And when they when they're committed to it. They've done that with when we really rebranded our Bonneville lineup, what's really the backbone of Triumph, and they committed and we redid them all in 2016. They did an amazing job, and then the adventure piece and all the other pieces. We've literally changed the culture of every dealer, not only in the U.S., around the world. So if you go into a dealership in Atlanta, Georgia, or you go in Tokyo, it's exactly the same. We make our own furniture, our own lighting, our own flooring. So it's that culture. We're building that culture, and that's how we want to be different. We want to stay, really premium, and we're not trying to be the biggest. We don't want to make the most of anything. We just want to build a really top-tier product, and you can see that in the passion and the design and the engineering team's been incredible. And that starts with the leadership, that we have in the UK. They're super serious, and they're committed to it. They're all in.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart move, too, coming in. Bobby Hewitt's run race teams before. He's got the Supercross title. Evan, rookie. Jalik, solid top 10 rider. But had you gone out and thrown down some cash for whoever, and it didn't work for whatever reason, again, going back to Jeff's first impression thing, you're coming in the racing in the right way.
Yeah.
Hey, we're just going to dip our feet in. We're just going to get some results. And there'll come a time when you get – big guy,
and that was the goal. Just start off quiet.
Right, which is, I think, a smart move.
Work your way in.
Yep.
Have a quality product. Work your way in, and then build from there.
I saw you at the SMX round. You could have maybe signed up. You were jumping some of that stuff.
No,
was that cool for you?
I'm past that. Of course, it was cool. That's what I said. That's I pinched myself. Why am I in the LA Coliseum riding with Ricky and debuting a new bike? It's I pinched myself.
Stanton?
Yeah,
he's in the Coliseum again.
Yeah.
Had to bring him
cool.
back, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That was a neat little deal.
Well, special for us, It's a huge deal, especially to do it there. Right? Is super cool.
Yeah. And of course, you guys told us yesterday too. You purchased a UK-based electric bike company, and you're going to put some smaller models together, electric models.
Yeah,
so that's coming.
Yep.
That's a huge thing because that's how my kid started riding.
Yeah.
We put him on an offset when he was 5 years old. And he learned so much good technique because of a trials bike. And every day after work, I'd come home and we'd mess around in the backyard, and no one cared. So, to me, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's a great point, Kris, because the founder, Ian Smith, who started it, he preaches that, if the best way to learn is on a trials bike, just your balance, your technical skills. So start there at, 3 or 4. It's amazing what these little kids, it's kind of opened my eyes. Of course, I've known about trials, but now it's a focus point, and it's just amazing. And he preaches this every single day, exactly what you just said.
I mean, when I watch Aiden now, he's 18, and all his feet work on his motocross bike, I can directly see where he got all that, right? And that's because of the trials bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, big things coming for the guys at Triumphs. Pretty exciting stuff. Going forward, this launch is going to work well, of course. Bikes will be in the dealership end of next month.
No. Next couple weeks.
Oh, next couple weeks?
3 or 4
so
weeks.
Next couple weeks, the bikes will be there. And the 250 is going to retail for around 10 grand?
$99.95.
Oh, you got it right.
Yeah.
You said it earlier, right?
Yeah.
Chris couldn't remember it was $99.99 or $99.95, but yeah.
It's $5.
Close.
Close.
But, again, saying the same kind of stuff with, Brembo brakes and KYB suspension and, sometimes you see stuff with Sack Shock and Olin's and, you guys have picked the right partners here to team with. Get and Athena, of course, for ignitions, right? So doing it right.
A lot of time has been spent.
Yeah, Pro Taper bars. There's not like some sort of knockoff bars or the Pro Taper ACF bars, which is, carbon fiber ends and stuff. So people like that kind of product, right?
Yeah, premium. That's the whole goal. And it's the same really philosophy they have, on the street side. So really to stay top tier and very premium components, across the board.
Right.
And still be cost effective because it's
Can we get rid of those Torx bolts?
Come on, he was bagging on those Torx bolts.
Look, he ain't working much on bikes anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
It's all visual.
I'll say something I was super impressed from the presentation. The whole thing is just being so open on suppliers. Like there's your key ones, your KYB, where Brembo we're used to seeing, but stuff like clutches, Exetti, Koenig. it's something reminds like not a lot of manufacturers do everything just like, yeah, we make this, even though they're suppliers for somebody to basically be able to look up all these brands and yeah, you guys are new. Like, where do these parts come from? How quality are somebody to be able to put a face, a name to all that? The openness that your guys' entire staff had to any of our questions, how stuff is manufactured. There's so many questions similar that I've asked at presentations and just gone, yeah, we'll get back to you on that. Somebody makes it. Yeah.
And that goes back to first impressions and attention to detail and bringing it all out in the open.
Yeah, being transparent.
Yeah.
You know, we're new to the spot, so it's a learning lesson for everybody. So, the more we can do in being transparent and open, it's a learning experience for us too. So,
Jeff, do you mind riding 250Fs? Like, how do you feel about that?
You was talking about that. I would rather ride a 250F all day long than to ride my 450.
There goes my theory then. He's a good rider.
No,
I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not what I was, but I still enjoy riding. But at 55, I want to ride a 250F, and I want to ride it to its potential and still feel comfortable. And that 450, it's just like I gotta be on the edge, and I don't want to be on the edge anymore.
Right.
I have to do it a couple of times a year at a few races, and it's like, dude, I want to get on the airplane. I want to walk on the airplane tomorrow. You know?
Yeah.
And so I love moto on the 250, and just because I can ride it to its potential and feel comfortable, and like Ricky said, fourth gear in a 450 now. I'm over that stage in my life. I want to ride and enjoy it. And
it is interesting, Michael, too. I did a podcast with Antonio Caroli a couple weeks ago. Ducati, right, coming in. That's also exciting.
Yeah, super exciting.
They're starting with a 450.
Yeah.
You guys start with a 250. And it's just interesting to see the different strategies. I mean, they'll have a 250, like you guys will have a 450, but it's kind of interesting to see. Like, I asked Antonio, like, why a 450? And he was like, well, it's just MXGP is the premier class, and we want to race the premier class out of the gate. And I'm like, okay, like that's fine. And then your guys' strategy of coming in like with a couple of solid riders and not elite guys is also a strategy, right? So it's just different, Michael.
I'm curious, even for you guys, from that product planning, like that had to be a conversation at some point where you're starting from. What was that like? Basically having to pick: are we going 450 or 250?
Yeah, it was honestly, I would say the engineering design group and definitely influence from Ricky early on. Deciding to go the 250 side. It was, and it's a slightly bigger market, so it gives us a little bit more opportunity there. So that, that's a piece of that puzzle.
I'm really curious from your prior experience at Suzuki, if you had to give me an honest opinion on this, do you think somebody that size, that corporate, if they weren't in this market already, they tried to move into a new market, could they make the decision and basically make this happen this quickly? You guys did it in 5 years from absolute scratch to product delivered. I can't imagine.
I think that's one of the benefits, again, to us being.
Jeff's just like,
right.
He's the whole time he's like, no way.
No way, because you're talking corporate identity or you're talking a family.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When you get that big, it's a challenge. Like getting things approved at Suzuki was much more difficult, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they still have a kickstart, right? That's something that RC and I were fighting 7-8 years ago, right? Where they committed to it, and really when you sit back and look at it, we've launched almost 20 brand new motorcycles during the time that we've developed this new motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's unheard of, right? And the cool thing about Triumph, we're not a bold new graphics company. I mean, you can go out there and pick on every other brand on how long a bike's been the same for 20, 30 years that exists today, right? In our company, I mean, they update the bikes every 2 or 3 years. It's just amazing, and that's going to follow through with this. But that's where that commitment, from our leadership to the design and engineering teams, with the focus on getting this done. And honestly, 5 years from our team's standpoint was probably a little longer because COVID. COVID had a huge impact on us testing and traveling back and forth and things like that. So it made it definitely a lot more difficult. So it probably added a year, 18 months onto the whole project.
I can kind of back more of that up too, just for me. Like, I've been a part of a lot of other manufacturers' testing processes, and there's a lot of red tape. Yeah. Like, even on little things, I think it's not going to be a big difference. Hey, like, or a big noticeable, like, who cares? We'll do that. Hey, we need this on our bike. We don't know if we can do that. I'm like, well, it's going to help our brand. I don't know. So with Triumph, I haven't noticed that. It was more like, yeah, we'll get back to you. And then they get back to you, and they said, we think that's a good idea, and it moves forward. So a lot quicker over here that I experienced than any other.
Well, I've got one for you, Kris, on that. Then take the situation of this bike being started from scratch. Do you feel like compared to other OEMs you've done stuff with, I don't want to say half-baked idea, but you have a product that you're not fully happy with, you feel that pressure, I'm guessing, in other situations? Okay, this thing has to be done by this date. Did you feel that at all in this situation, that things could be pushed if necessary? Like, hey, we're going to put
we pushed. Some things weren't ready, and we pushed it, and we retested. Like, that's just how it is, you know. And in the world of testing, people think, oh, it's all up to the test rider. It usually isn't like that. You're in a box. You're allowed to move what's inside this box, and that's where you go. I say with this brand, I think there's still a box, but it's a bigger box. And within those corners, there's people listening, and then they can help you say, hey, we need to extend that a little bit. We need to grow here a little bit more. So to me, that's just more responsive that I've noticed.
Right, which is something that they talked about the Austrian KTMs being really, really able to do, especially in the early days. Rod, when you let Roger go. No, but like Roger and Ian got there, and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
They were able to stop an assembly line to make running changes, and the Japanese can't do that. And that was early on.
I don't think KTM can do that now.
Yeah, maybe not now.
It's
right.
gone
right.
pretty corporate.
But that was a huge thing early on where KTM was able to just adapt, and they caught some of the Japanese guys sleeping.
Yeah, and we've done it through this project multiple times, right?
Yeah.
When they felt like we could do it better, they stopped and we did it better, you know. So there was nobody, forcing us to say, hey, by January 1st, this bike has to be out. We always had target dates, but if something needed to move to make the bike, what it was today, as Jeff said earlier, the first impression for us was a huge deal. We're going into a whole brand new segment, like to some people who is Triumph, right? And it meant a lot to the brand. They take the brand very, very serious, and they were super committed to it. And the group of people that's worked on this thing from day one has just been amazing. And I think I remember when Ricky first went over to the UK and spent a week there before, he committed 100%. And he came back and he's like, man, that was awesome because of how much emotion and just the attitude and the passion that all these young engineers and designers had just to fight and make the bike better and better and better, and not just give in on it.
Right.
And that was just
have you gotten a little bit of pushback from some Triumph customers that are like, "What are these guys doing?" Have you heard?
No,
from
it's been really.
hipsters?
I think one of the cool thing is like what I'll call our legacy dealers who've been around a long time, and did scrambles back in the
Steve
early.
McQueen was
there.
Right, yeah.
And now they're just super passionate. They want, they proudly want to go wear their Triumph T-shirt and sit in the stands and cheer the team on. The demand, like when Ricky was dominating, we would get a ton, and back at Suzuki, of requests for tickets. Now I think we had 117 requests for tickets at Detroit, and that's just from our dealers, And it's like, oh, guys, I can't give you all those tickets, but it's super cool just to see, the passion from long time Triumph people who are, really sticking to it and just walking through. In Detroit, we had our Triumph stuff on, and people stop and just asking questions. So that's a question I have for you guys. How cool is it with these new brands coming into the industry? You guys push the industry all the time, right? Communication-wise, on a weekly, daily basis. So,
I think it's cool. Like for me, I've never, and we got yelled at. I don't know, maybe Michael didn't, but the media got yelled at when we started. If we didn't refer to a Husqvarna as a Husqvarna, we got yelled at. And I'm just like, give me a break. That's the KTM. I don't care what color on it. Right. Remember, Michael, we got yelled at a little bit for that. Yeah. So, I wasn't on board with that. I didn't care about that, and I still don't. That's a KTM. They're under KTM rules, and that's cool, but that's me. Yeah. But for me, when you look at the World Supercross, there's a lot of people on our side, promoters, people I work for, didn't like the World Supercross coming. I was always like, hey, man, this is great. More riders are getting paid, and there's more races to watch and for me to talk about. That's great. Triumph's here. Ducati's here. More jobs, more people on dirt bikes, more things to talk about. Awesome. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's where
I
I'm
agree.
like,
totally.
There's no protective sort of bubble of like, hey, who are these guys,
I think it extends even further. Like, again, going back to your guys' presentation, one of the little things like the parts fish that basically somebody can go look up a part. It'll tell you where it's at dealer. We're always talking about, like, how do we improve?
Yeah.
I'm lucky down in our area. You probably know him. I'm talking about Jeremy Schism that runs a Ping Brands dealerships. Gives me that old like brick and mortar store feeling, and I keep saying like good dealer chains. Like I'd love to see it come back in Moto and have supporting dealers. The way you guys are doing with being able to basically go online, find parts,
Epic system,
send them basically to your local dealer or find out if they're there. Little stuff like that where the fit and finish I saw today on the bikes, hearing that. a lot of little things. Something I said in my opinions that are coming out tomorrow is I really see, if I were to go buy one of your guys' product, that the customer service and the customer experience would be a little, I'd say a notch above from my first impression over what I see from other brands in our field. So even more than just, more rides, more paying jobs, I can see it potentially pushing our industry forward because of different ideas.
Yeah, and that's totally our our culture is to be the premium lifestyle brand, right, in the industry. That's our goal. But we want that to carry over into moto too. We don't want to just fall into the Japanese group or the KTM group. Yeah. So whether it's what we wear or how we do our business, the culture in the dealerships is to continue to raise that bar to give people a much better experience.
Jeff, I don't know if you guys were in here earlier, but I was asking about Dave Arnold. I just have so much respect for Dave, and I could talk to him for 100 hours, especially the stories about you and JMB. But I don't know how much you have to do with him on the Triumph side, but he's working with the race team. He's doing chassis thing. Dave's brilliant. Yep. Is it good to see Dave back?
I talk to Dave a couple of times a month.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh, yeah, because he comes out and tests and, is getting opinions. And Dave's been he's been a chassis guy forever. Yeah. And so, they made the call, and more knowledge is power. Yeah. Surround yourself with successful people, you're going to be successful. Yeah. And so,
it's really cool to see him back.
Absolutely.
And you guys should blame him for me scooping the Savachi thing, because I put it on Twitter that Savachi's signing with Triumph, and it was Dave who figured that I knew and just assumed that I knew and was talking to me about Savachi and Triumph.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm like, yeah, Dave, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good deal for him.
You cornered him into that.
And in my mind, I'm like, holy crap.
cornered him into that, dude.
I'm like, Savachi's going to Triumph.
So let me ask you guys another question. So today, the 2-day experience with Triumph, did we exceed your expectations? You guys were coming in here, so you definitely had some preconceived thoughts, right? So. Yeah. So as a whole,
I don't test ride. That's a better question.
No, but I mean,
how was your overall experience?
From the brand, the whole thing, just Triumph, the umbrella of Triumph, not only the bike. I got to ride
with Six Time and Yogi and Ricky and Tedesco. That was cool.
I think I said before, the quality of the presentation, no real fluff, mumbo jumbo, 3-letter acronyms to explain things. I got straight answers. I got to explain why things were done the way they were. If somebody didn't have an answer, they hurried up and grabbed somebody that could get me an answer on anything. The openness on our test today for what we could do, what we thought was at least best for us as media guys, that would get us the best experience. Your guys' staff was completely open to any suggestion we had to allow us to do our job the best and to best relay that information to the end viewer.
Yeah, right.
And the quality, quality of people you brought, the amount of staff, just everything. I came into it pretty open-minded because, even some of the big OEMs, I go to events and I think I have my list of complaints on how they could be handled better, and I walked away from today. Like I said, anything we said, like, hey, we're kind of worried about this, you're like, okay, let's change it. Let's do this. I was thoroughly impressed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I
it's the
wanted
same
to
for me.
spring in the rear, but they couldn't really do that. But that was just my picky thing. I mean, I was
that's
just
KYB problem.
That's KYB problem. I was like, hey, do you have like a 5.8? that would be perfect. And
we knew we had to take this event today as serious, the most serious part of the last 5 years.
Well, I said this before about some of the opinions today. What's kind of a sad part with, I feel like, modern day, there's so much content, there's so much to absorb. It's not whether you're right or wrong. It is sometimes if you're first, and that's what comes back to first impressions are so key anymore. It's so easy. There's so many options. People could just write it off and walk away if this was not handled well. And I know you guys have taken some flack over how long it's taken to put this out from initial announcements. And you guys are very quiet, like, hey, we're doing this right. And again, my experience today is like, okay, I understand the weight.
I made a few jokes at
we think
the parts unveil. The part unveil. We made a few jokes at
and
that.
It was emotional, and we're, that's the group here. The riders are emotional, right? It's so we knew that, but it was still more important to do the right thing, right? For the bike, for the brand. So that was always the key, from our leadership, and they've been amazing, the amount of support. I mean, if you think about the amount of people we've hired, we haven't even sold one motorcycle yet. It's just simply amazing. Building a race facility, the whole dealer infrastructure, brand new motorcycle commitment with the 450 coming in the future, the MXGP team. It's a big deal.
No, absolutely.
I'm so curious for you internally dealing with your staff, seeing people's excitement for a brand that. The racing with this has been like the Moto2 engine supply deal, some super bikes, actually not super bike stuff, just some other little series you guys participated. But to go to this scale of racing, what's it like to just see everybody in the company, like their excitement levels about it, how in tune they are with it, the fact everybody watching, like everybody having a reason to, other than just cheer, oh, the company's doing good, cheering for racing product and something you guys have put so much into.
Yeah, it's just that emotional connection where I think, I would say the great thing about Triumph is 90% of our staff across the board ride. I mean, really, really ride. So it's a great thing because they're true, passionate motorcyclists. But now when we're we're competing in the highest level, you can really, they're emotionally connected to whether, the sports fans we have here or in Europe, it's that same level. So even down to when are we going to have Triumph racing gear? When are we going to have this? When can I buy the jersey and the stuff that Jalik's wearing? So just to see it, and it's down to from admin people to the warehouse people, throughout the whole company, that passion level is so high. You have to remind them, like, hey, we still have a job to do over here. We still have to sell and market motorcycles because everybody wants to be involved. So it's been, and I think that's the really cool thing from my spot is watch how this has touched literally everybody in our company, down to every person. It's just learning that knowledge of something brand new, but the excitement that we're going to be competing at the highest level, is
right.
And that's why I say it's a family, because it truly is a family.
Yeah,
they're sitting at the factory. Everybody's in the warehouse watching the Detroit Supercross, all pumped. You can imagine everybody there just, they were all into it.
Well, we did L.A. and it was 8 hours difference in the UK, and our CEO's up at 3 a.m, texting me. He's like, "How did it go?"
Yeah.
But that's, you think at any other brand, the CEO of the company's up, passionate about how Jeff and Ricky did.
And he was texting him all day today.
It's because,
no, it's cool.
And that's what moves this. And it's super cool that we have that amount of support. I mean, our CEO probably knows 80% of our dealers personally around the world.
Yeah.
That's not, that doesn't happen often.
Right. That's cool. Before we let you guys go, because it is getting late and Jeff's past his bedtime. Rod, you were at Suzuki for a long time. You worked under Mel Harris, who was there a long time before that. Took Mel's job when he retired, and then moved to Triumph. I'm interested. Did Triumph come headhunt you? Were you looking for a change from Suzuki? How did that come about?
Well, a little bit of both. So Suzuki was pushed. So I originally moved here before Mel retired. I was in charge of the ATV division, and when I moved to Georgia, Suzuki built their manufacturing facility in Rome, Georgia. So all the ATVs globally are made in Georgia. So that's when I moved here, and then. My kids, we were here for probably 10 years, and just we liked Georgia. My kids were doing amazing in school, and that that's the most important piece. My wife loved it in Georgia. And then we had a change in presidents at Suzuki, so about every 4 years they changed the presidents, and the president that was there, he was fine with me traveling back and forth, no problem. New president came, and he's like, "You got a year, you got to be here." And I was like, I don't want to bust up my family. They ran around the country for me.
They were going to take you away from the ATV division to be like Mel in Brea.
Yeah, well, I was already doing Mel, but I was flying back and forth. And then the new president's like, "No, you got to come out and be in California full time." So they gave me a year, and then in that year, just accidentally, Triumph headhunted me.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. So, are you more of a moto guy? Like,
I mean, I grew up.
Background?
My family owned a Yamaha dealership. So I grew up racing. It's really my passion. But then, of course, I just grew into a motorcyclist. You know what I mean? And all parts of it. And then my grandfather passed away. My grandmother wanted to sell the dealership, and then I became a district sales manager at Suzuki, and then kind of
worked your way up from there.
I
didn't know Mel really well, but I talked to him here and there over the years. I don't think as a media guy, more just as a mechanic or whatever, being around. Nice guy, always seemed like a real friendly guy. And like Suzuki certainly had a history of winning, right? I mean, even you go back to the 80s and you go into the little slump in the 90s, but then getting Ricky back, Roger turned the program around, Ricky came, and then it kept going, Dunge, but then we've seen what happened.
Yeah.
It's kind of. I mean, again, they're good bikes. We talked about it later, earlier, but it is a little disheartening to see Suzuki's effort.
Yeah, they make great product. And it's sad to see that because everybody makes really good product, but it's just commitments in different areas.
But from what I understand, they make money. They sell lots of motorcycles. They sell lots of cars.
Super strong.
They're doing well.
Marine is
right.
Marine is huge.
Somebody in position of power is like, we don't care about off-road. I guess.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing about. Pat Alexander told me 4 years ago, a new president is coming. He loves off-road. everything's going to change.
Nothing's changed.
And nothing's changed. You know, Chris Wheeler's a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
He's there now. I talk to Wheeler all the time, and he's like, yeah, the presidents come and go, and they have different agendas and different enthusiasm, but I'm like, well, none of them like off-road.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
tough.
A little tough, yeah.
And all great guys. You know, Pat was there for, forever, and
Yeah.
Chris, all great people that are there. So.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
we're just fortunate that Kenny.
What's that?
We're just fortunate that Kenny chose that,
Yeah,
and he's
absolutely.
actually keeping them alive, and
Yeah.
it's
Doing
raised
amazing.
the enthusiasm in our sport.
Yeah.
And so it's been a blessing that.
Can't believe Rod let Dungey go, though. Can't believe Rod did that, Jeff. It's tough. That's a tough break.
Yeah, it was. It was a challenge. Yeah. But I did bring James, and I, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, everything we did with Ricky. So.
Yeah. We were talking at the commercial break. I'm a big fan of Mike Webb. I've always liked Mike.
Love Mike.
He's a good dude, and I felt so sorry for him because Dunge didn't like him because the bike broke, but Mike wasn't Mike's fault. And then Mike had to deal with Stu, who, you know,
Oh, it's impossible.
up and down.
Right.
the roller coaster of James Stewart.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, hey, Mike, don't you just wish you were back in the woods with like Rodney and Kadowski? And he's like, yes, I do.
Yeah.
The good old off-road days. Yeah.
I felt bad for Mike because he was such a good dude who just wanted to like have a good time and, you know, be serious when he needed to be serious. But I think James took him, like, it just ruined him, you know, so. But yeah, no, it was certainly a good legacy over there at Suzuki for sure. So, I mean, let's hope they pull it back together. I mean, the Pipes run a good team. Dustin Pipes, they're doing good things.
Wow.
Like you said, Kenny chose the bike. He had other offers to go. And
No, we're fortunate that he did. It's kept a spark and kickstart alive, and it's
amazing
it's
what
been,
Kenny's doing.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
been great.
Just
Just think of all the money they're saving on tooling.
Yeah. That's right.
Tooling hasn't changed.
no, they're
Selling bikes.
I
Tooling
wonder
hasn't
though
changed.
if the mold's worn out and they have to buy a new mold.
Dude.
That's
what I
when
mean?
they'll
Like-
finally change the bike.
Yeah, they're just like, man, we got to buy a new mold. This thing's worn out.
Being a fan of the Supercross series, it's just been a great year. Really,
has been great.
It's
It's
been great
it's
to
fun to
watch,
watch.
and lots of action and changes. And I think we're going to see a lot of changes next year. There's some guys that'll be going out and some young guys coming in. So it's a good time to be coming
Great
in.
time.
And
all new brands, great TV coverage, right?
Yeah.
Stadiums
It's
are doing amazing.
it's all
No,
positive.
and Feld and MX Sports getting together. I mean,
Everybody's
they used to hate each other.
Yep.
And now they're working together, and the purse money's up big time for the riders, and they're working together. I roll my eyes a little bit at this SMX being the ultimate thing, but hey, whatever, that's cool. Like, it's all good. Like, everything seems to be going up.
You
right?
want to talk?
the
You
media
want to
guys
talk
need more
about the
money.
purse money real quick?
What's that?
You want to talk about the purse money real quick?
We can.
Because I've been an advocate of this forever. I say the top 5 guys don't need any purse money. Without the privateers there, we have nothing. Give that. Put more money at the back end of the deal.
Because they're making a shit ton anyway.
They're making the 5 guys are making. They're not going
their life.
They're not
The
going to
purse
they're
money's
not going to miss
pocket
that
change.
$5,000
No.
bucks. But without 10th place
Yeah.
through 21st place, we don't have nothing. We'll be like what they have in Europe.
Yeah.
I've been an advocate of that forever, and I know it'll never happen. But that's just
No, I don't think it'll happen, but
That's just my 2 cents.
Right. I will say the 250 purse was pretty bad for a long time. It is now close to the 450 purse.
Yeah.
So they put a lot of money into it. And then, of course, the SMX races have been really good. So racers are making more money, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
need
the
that.
medium needs more money.
What was the purse for you winning Supercross back in the day?
$5,000.
$5,000.
Gold coins.
Well,
What was
Gold coins.
What was win bonus back then?
Win bonus was 35,000.
Okay.
wow.
Well,
Yeah,
that's changed.
when Jeremy won 96 or 96, 15 races, he only got $5,000 to win for Honda
For win bonus?
for win bonus.
Really?
$5,000. He won one race on Suzuki, 2 races maybe on Suzuki. Made more money than he did the year before in Honda for race win bonuses.
Yeah.
So it was pretty crazy
No,
to see back then.
times have changed. No
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
And they'll continue to change. It's a circle of life.
So I was off weekend. I was flipping through YouTube. I'll let you go. One last story. Flipping through YouTube. 93.
You've already screwed him now. He's in.
we can just keep
He's
going.
past his
93
bedtime.
Supercross
Yeah.
season in review.
Yeah.
So they go through the whole season in 93.
Yeah.
You were so pissed. You were so angry at these post-race
This is
interviews.
how you're going to leave him?
No,
No,
but
it's
you
true.
Should have
at
heard
one
him this
point
morning.
You said, at one point, you're like, look, man, he just keeps getting the start. And I know that if he doesn't get the start, we can rough him up and we can get in there. And then he had like a, Jeremy we're talking about, he had like a 20-something point lead, and then he had a shitty race from the back of the pack, and you won, and Damon and Kardowski were top 3, and he maybe got 4th or 5th, and you guys closed it within like 16 points, and then you gave the interview like, we're coming around, man. We're just, it's going to be, and then, dude, the next race he wins, and the next race he wins, and
nobody
they're
likes
talking about you, and you're irate after these
nobody
races.
likes a new guy coming in.
Yeah.
No different. Do you think everybody likes Jeff coming in right now?
No,
absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's like you in '89. No one liked you at night.
Absolutely.
No one liked you in '89.
It's a new ingredient in the sauce, right?
It's as I said, it's a circle of life.
Yeah.
You get used to it or make a change.
But even like Damon was he was throwing it away a lot in '93. He was crashing a lot. You weren't crashing so much, but just couldn't get the spark back. But I was just watching it, going like, you guys at the time had to be going like, what the fuck is happening? Because in '92, you won everything.
Yep.
You two guys.
Yeah.
What happened in 1 year?
And Jeremy was on a peak 125. He was winning everything. You knew. You didn't know that it was coming, but you knew there was ready for a guard to change. It happens. It happens all the time.
It was just weird that both of you just couldn't get it together.
Yeah.
At the same time, it was like the Coliseum race.
Yeah.
Was one guy champion, one guy, and then he never got it back, and then maybe you were like, I'm going to win again, right? I mean, I won '92, I'm going to win again, and it was just such a...
It was so different back then. We'd do all the races here, and I really made all my money in Europe.
Yeah.
There was 1990, 91, 92, 93. I did 55 races a year. These guys bitch if they do 36 races a year. That's when all the invitational races were over there. You get 30, 40,000 a night just to show up.
Right.
And so, for me, I just burned myself
burnt out.
I burnt. My dad. I was born and raised on a farm, dude. You make the hay when the sun shines, and that money's coming up. I go over there and do 20 races in the off season.
Yeah.
You'll do 2 a night.
Dude, we go do Paris and do 4 a night.
Right.
So
you think by '93 came, you were
I was
getting
burnt out, dude. I was 100% burnt out. I was, because you do 50 races a year, but you had to.
You told me one time you made more money in the off season than from your factory Honda contract.
Absolutely.
Which is insane.
That's crazy.
Think about that.
Listen, I went to Bercy and made 50,000 a night. You raced 3 nights or 4 nights.
Crap.
The money was insane, and then you leave there and you go to Geneva and you race 2 nights there. Yeah, you had no choice. You just did it.
Yeah.
You made the hay when the sun shines.
Right.
Podiums were better.
That money's gone.
Camel girls.
Oh yeah.
Kissing girls on the podium. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Absolutely.
There's a video of Jeff making out with a podium girl.
Absolutely.
I'm like, that is awesome.
That was the fun. And I said gold coin, Coors Extra Gold. You had the option if you won the race. You could take the check, or you could take the gold coins. We got
stacks of them.
Stacks of gold coins.
Really?
You still got them?
Yeah.
I still got them.
So
I was watching that race and I was like, look at this kid. Jeremy was just all smiling, right? It was all just kind of easy.
Yeah.
And then you and Damon and Mike, too, they interviewed Mike a little bit, Kardowski, and you guys are searching, right? You're just like hoping this kid, like, you're just like, when is this guy going to break? Like, when is he going to crack, right? And I mean, you guys are the top guys. And it just struck me watching it how mad you guys were. And just like, you're like you said, burnout. Damon was crushed already from losing it.
Whether you want to admit it or not, you see the circle of life changing. Jeremy was the king, and then we saw the circle of life with RC come in. You see it every 5, 6, 7 years. We're seeing it right now.
Yeah.
Whether
I think we are.
Whether you want to hear it or not, we're seeing it right now.
I think we are. You're right.
So,
well, thanks, guys. Thank you for coming in. I
thank you,
appreciate
guys.
it. Thanks for having us.
Oh,
really cool to talk to all of you guys this weekend and see everybody. And again, like Yogi was there and Clement Desal. I don't think I said, I went to GPs. I don't think I said half as many words to Clement when he raced as I did today. You know what I mean? Like super friendly guy. And I remember interviewing him a few times and he was really like all business, kind of like you back in the day.
Yeah.
And then today he was like laughing and joking, talking about Spain, and you know what I mean? So
different pressures, right?
Yeah.
Race days. Ricky was the same way.
Yeah. It was really cool to have all you guys here, and like it's a star-studded field and Triumph people, and so
we're serious.
Yeah, thank you.
We're all in. No, thank you guys.
Thank you.
It's
Appreciate
been
it.
awesome.
Thanks for coming in, Jeff Stanton, Rod Lupuznak, Triumph America. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Great times on the PulpMX show presented by Motorsport.com. Decal Works, Fly Racing. Let's do the Race Tech rant. You guys can. You want to stick around or? Whatever.
Go ahead, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Do what you can, Jeff. Run as fast as you can.
Otherwise, I'm going to start talking about Grafton and Kardowski.
See you guys. Thank you.
Very, very fun to be out here. We'll get Kellen Brauer in here. Let's talk a little bit about the bike.
Kellen, you awake?
We'll
Come
answer
on
some
in.
questions. Race Tech rant, though. Let's do that real quick. My Race Tech rant. You. Again.
Just you.
I wonder what I'm not thinking. I'm trying to think this whole night, like, what the hell could I have done to piss you off?
I'm always the person in trouble. It's fun to see you in trouble.
Just what?
You know, I've been riding my dirt bike more than ever.
Yes, and I've given you props.
Right. I've been riding my dirt bike more than ever. There is no chance that you thought I would come out to Georgia to test ride a motorcycle, Florida.
Yeah.
To test ride this motorcycle. But I did it.
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun.
Okay.
I'm not a test rider.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a 250F guy, but I thought it would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm out there, and I really felt like I rode a lot. I put on over an hour, I think, today.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's a lot. And I'm sitting there, and you're just like, hey, like on the track. And you're like doing this with your wrist. Bro, I'm here. I'm riding. Leave me alone. Like, it's never good enough for you. I'm riding more than ever.
False.
No, it's never good enough. And then Ricky had to step up and get my back a little bit.
He did get your back, yeah. But I didn't attack you because Ricky blocked it.
No, you were on the track going, hey.
That was a different time. I was actually I was coming for you. And then I'm like, hey. And Ricky walked in. He's like, what's up? I'm like, did he ride? And he's like, yeah, he just got off the track. I'm like, okay.
Okay, yeah. Don't monitor my riding. Okay? Don't worry about my riding. Like,
I'm just making sure you're maximizing your time while you're here.
You should be so happy that I flew to Florida to test ride a 250F.
I'm just wondering how his testing day was. They had so much time to monitor your riding because, the rest of us are testing bikes while this guy.
He rode a lot.
Here's the thing. I like to see you ride. So my enthusiasm to get you on the track should show you how happy I am. If I didn't give a shit, I would not. I would leave you alone.
I'm here. I rode an hour today. Leave me alone. All right?
I'm sorry.
You should be happy that I'm just here doing that.
I am happy.
All right.
But I would like.
Don't talk to Ricky. Don't make signals on the track in front of everybody. All the Triumph guys are there, and he's going, hey, and he's pointing to his watch, and he's doing this.
I
and
just
all the
revved my engine
like,
and said, come back out with me. That's what I said.
Yeah. Well,
that's all I want.
That's my Race Tech rant. You.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Thanks, Jeff. 6th time. Legend.
He's laughing.
Yeah. So just leave me alone, okay? I'm happy.
Well,
That's
I'm
my
not
Race
going to
Tech
leave you
rant.
alone.
What?
But I apologize.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Let's. It's late. I'm going to go to bed, but I want to talk about the bike.
No after dark?
I still have those letters there. Kellen, I was very disappointed you didn't ride today.
Sorry.
No. I just wanted him to ride.
Monitoring riding.
He flew all the way out here. I wish he would have rode a little bit. Kellen does like riding motorcycles.
Yes,
but that's fine.
yeah.
He's a hardworking video guy.
Yes.
A little bit of controversy this morning with the embargo.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
So the Triumph guys knew I was here for this show, and I asked them if I could have guests, and they said sure, and I thought it'd be really cool. And I'm guessing, I don't know this, but I'm guessing word filtered down to some other media guys that I'm doing a show tonight.
I don't think it was that.
No.
Oh, it wasn't?
Nothing to do with it.
No.
Okay, so then the Triumph guys tell us 6 p.m. is the embargo time, which is the same time I was supposed to start this show.
That's what snowballed it, yeah.
So I was like, that's why I thought that, because they said 6 because of my show.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I was like, hey, wait, that's an odd time. That's when I'm starting my show. Anyway, so it wasn't that. But somehow this morning it turned into Triumph being a little worried that we were going to talk about the bike on the show tonight, and then the team wanted more time to get videos ready, because that is kind of early, 6 p.m.
Well,
Eastern.
So it started last night. The original embargo was supposed to be 6 p.m. after we were done riding today. Myself and Tilly brought up our concern based on some other recent
you
intros.
rat-balled me.
No, it has nothing to do with you.
He's part of it.
It has nothing to do with you. Let me finish. Pretty much went to him like, hey, you guys have put all this effort into doing this great intro. You've given us all this riding time, all this time to work with technicians. If you want to run 6 p.m., I'm straight up going to tell you that some, particular one, media outlet will probably quit at lunch, record their video, and put it out, and not do your full day because you're setting it at 6 p.m. and everybody's in a time war. Versus if you set it back a day, everybody will do a full day. People will give your bike the full true shot it deserves. They'll spend all the testing time, and everybody will release their content at the same time. When you look at automotive and you look at tech, that's how they do it, because it allows everybody the proper time to do their job and put out the best content.
Makes great sense, perfect sense, like you said, because there will be people that just stop riding today.
Just rush it. Just
but then
to be
how
first.
did my show get brought into it today?
So the only thing, they at first last night they're like, yeah, let's do it, and then I think they finally realized like, oh crap, we said that Steve can do that show, and it's gonna get brought up, and then I get there working with all this new, they were being sensitive of like, hey, we want to tell you all to push back the embargo like we talked to Moshi about, but we also have to be aware that we promised these guys could do a show. But then, like you said, the counter argument came up. A couple people were sensitive, like, oh, well, no, if he's talking about in the show, then we should all just be able to do it. But I agreed with your sense, like, okay, this is not a testing.
No.
It's not the same thing. I was very sensitive to how YouTube content is released.
Our YouTube title is not going to be Triumph Test
exactly.
today.
Exactly. No offense. There's people live streaming this, and you have your set podcast listeners still listen to this, but people are not instantly clicking into this right now knowing we're breaking down the Triumph, like what will happen at 6 p.m. when the embargo is lifted tomorrow and all the proper content comes out. And my argument was partially for my own guys. Like, I wanted to do a better job, and I told the Triumph guys, like, hey, I think you guys have put in so much effort into this. You guys should get the best of everybody here today.
Got him. He got him with that one. That was a
true,
good
though.
one.
Like, also, it all goes down to algorithm. Okay, if we all drop our content at the same time properly and it's all well done, somebody's going to sit down, watch Racer X, and next feed's going to be mine, and then Dirt Bike. Like, somebody will actually sit down and spend 30 or 40 minutes learning about this bike versus one gets dropped 6 hours early because somebody decided to cut out early. They're going to watch that. Whether it's a good, a bad opinion, they may just take that and walk.
Well, okay.
It's better for the brand. It's better for all of us.
This morning when it was.
Well, it got turned weird on you, and then,
they said at one point, Triumph guys, hey, can you not talk about the bike tonight on the show to me?
Well, like I said, they were trying to be sensitive because they were going to move the embargo again, and that's something we talked about earlier with Rod. I'm really commend them on is being flexible. Like, I go to any other intro, it is hard. This is what we're doing, not doing. They took all of our suggestions that meant something.
Well, I felt attacked.
That's what was weird. Is when we were sitting there before this intro talking about this embargo. Usually we don't even get a chance to do that.
Right. Okay.
This is like, here's what it is.
Let's talk about
We did have to bring it to a vote because it was getting danced around for a while. So I was like, can we just vote on our final here?
Let's talk about the bike a little bit. I mean, obviously, Keefer, you've developed this thing. You've helped develop it.
I'm not.
You're one of the developers of this bike. I'm a Yamaha guy, and I'm not a test rider nor a 250F guy, anyways. So we're biased.
Look, I'm not here to sell the bike. That's not my job. That's Ricky's job. That's the other guy. I'm here to test the motorcycles, give them the feedback, and then with my job and my business, I'm going to give that same feedback to the consumer. Like, here's what I think. This is my total thoughts. I bet if you read or watch our Racer X review, it's not that all different than what these guys are probably saying. So there's no bias there. It's just, here's what I feel. I'm not trying to sell you on the damn thing. Do whatever you want.
So the bike was good. The bike is competitive right out of the box with all the other 5, would you say?
Yes.
I mean, it's not going to win all the shootouts going away, and it's also not going to get last.
No, I said in mind, like, just judging off me riding a different track ride, I'm like, it's a podium-level bike for me in a shootout out of the box. Like, it's in that range of conversation.
What did you like about it?
Like I said earlier, chassis was a huge standout to me.
Asked that question.
Balance, touch feel. Like I said, started out pretty conservative. I was pretty impressed how nose heavy I could get with it. Just kept bump up sag, taking forks up, how much weight I could put on it, and how stable it still stayed. Just not getting twitchy, not loading the front and knifing in. Didn't feel like it was wandering. Power character, what Kris said earlier. For me, I still think there's a bike or two in the class that maybe have better overall torque output, but the width of where the peak torque is on this bike is pretty impressive. It is very linear, easy ride. I thought the mapping was excellent out of the box in terms of cleanness, connectivity.
Thought we were on embargo. Thought we were embargoed.
No, we're allowed to talk about this. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
No,
you want me
there's
to
no
keep
embargo. We discussed that we're discussing the bike on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just fit. What it comes down to is my final answer is fit and finish is really high on this bike, and that's from how the quality of it looks and a lot of what I feel like riding.
Yeah.
Like, by example, I rode the beta last week or right before we flew, and that's by a manufacturer that's been making off-road bikes. It's their first motocross bike. I rode it. It was pretty good, but there were some little things that stood out finish-wise. I was like, okay, this is their first attempt. I expected it. I was genuinely impressed. Like, you blindfold me, I tell you this is somebody that's been making dirt bikes for 20 years.
Yeah, I agree. It's the components are nice. Everything's put together nice. The bike looks clean. The bolts are hidden in spots, and then looks good.
Like I said, it passes the sniff of the eye test. I was wandering around once we actually got to see in the room last night, just looking around everything. I'm like, man, I can see the effort.
Kris, I actually checked them out at the Coliseum. I was down on the Coliseum looking at them pretty closely when they.
That was probably an early version too.
Yeah, and there was still from that to this one, I saw a lot of things cleaned up because I remember I was shooting photos when it was in the tunnel, and I got asked like, "Hey, we love the press, like getting on this, but they kind of warned me like, hey, don't get too close on a few things. There are some unfinished items on this bike.
Chris, if this was a shootout, 250 shootout, where's the Triumph? Right in the mix?
I would agree with Michael.
Yeah.
Like it's around to me. Like if it wins, I wouldn't be surprised. If it gets third, fourth, it wouldn't be surprised.
Right, but it's right in the mix.
It's in the mix. Like for me, I'm not here saying, "No, it's the best bike ever. Here's what it does. This way better than Yamaha or KTM." Like there's a lot of things that it does really well, as good as others, and there's a couple things that are better than others. And to me, that is an excellent motorcycle to start out with.
Yeah.
Right.
So
well-rounded. Like I think of 250 shootout Cowie, love the engine, can't stand the stock fork.
Yep.
I can't really say I got off this bike and like nothing. I sat there and go, man, I can't stand that. I'm like, oh, this bike does this a little better than the Triumph. This does this a little better, but there was nothing where I'm like,
who won your 250 shootout?
Yamaha still.
Yeah.
It was close between Yamaha and KTM this year.
Yeah, so I think Yamaha lacks a little bit of torque this year, and their frame is stiffer, so some of those are negatives this year. KTM still has an air fork, right?
Yep.
So that's a knock on it. It has a good engine, chassis maybe a little bit stiff. So,
So some of the people were saying, this motor does look a lot like a KTM motor.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's KTM type of power?
In areas I do, and I still stand by the bike feels unique when I ride it.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to compare, and I got to think about the consumer and what people want to know. So, hey, how's it compared to this? Because when I get emails, Keefer, I'm deciding on this bike or this bike. And I think about people going to buy a Yamaha, KTM, or a Triumph. And I'm trying to compare that. So for me, a little bit more torque and low-end response than a KTM. And to me, mid-range feels very similar, but it has more RPM response and touch and recovery than a KTM. And I think it pulls farther because I've had all these bikes before, right? And I got to ride all these bikes and this bike at the same time because they bought them and I'm here to ride them.
At one point, they had a KTM motor in the Triumph chassis, I think. They had a Yamaha motor in the Triumph chassis, I believe.
Like they told us in the meeting, like they take inspiration from all this stuff and they want to try to build their own, right?
They attacked that question head on. I asked it during the presentation last night. Like, okay, straight up, this looks like bolt pattern, everything, blah, blah. This looks like an outgoing KTM engine. Clearly, the more I looked at, like, you can see they machine, like, it is their own machining process, their own cam process, etc. But their answer was, hey, we baselined everything, and this is where we wanted to start and develop from.
Yeah.
And I respect the way they answered it. They didn't dance around the subject and try to lie to my face, basically.
Right. They definitely did want to make the point that this is an all-new motorcycle.
Yeah.
Which I think they've seen on social. People are like, oh, it's just going to be a KTM. You know what I mean? Like,
and you're still going to get it because there's similarities within the engine. You're like, oh, yeah, it looks like a KTM. Or it looks like an older Yamaha frame.
Again, there's only so many ways to skin a cat, though. Okay, I saw some people forget, oh, look how unique the Ducati is. Looks like it's very similar to a Honda chassis. Yeah, the motor's their own. Desmond, they have some unique IP. But even I look at that bike that's doing some pretty unique stuff, I can still point out things that are very similar to
Here's how I look at it. If you're not one of the big brands that have been doing it for a very long time, and then you have your own, I want to say, proprietary parts, frame, engine, how good is that bike? Not very good. So if you take others that are doing it well, then bend it, shape it, and create your own, and I feel like you have a better chance of getting upwards.
Yeah, absolutely. They did say that the frame is the only, like, spine. What do they call it? Spine.
Center spine.
Center
aluminum frame on
have
a 4-stroke.
Have they seen Yamaha 2-strokes?
4-stroke.
Have they seen Yamaha? They said a motorcycle. They didn't say 4-stroke. They said motorcycle.
Okay.
Yamaha
2-stroke still are.
Anyways, I wonder that would be really interesting to me. Did they have a perimeter frame? Did they try it? You know, like somewhere some engineer went, hey, man, I'd like, we're going to do single spine. And they said for the gas tank reasons and off-road reasons. And
basically future platform.
That makes sense for sure.
As soon as they allow me the green light, there's things that I want to write about and talk about from day one. I think it'd be really interesting. I just know there's certain things I can't talk about right now. But once they say, yeah, we can talk about it, then I'm all for it.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the bike? Should we do the motorsport tweets?
Yeah, I'm good.
Do we have that thing?
Dun.
No, you got to tear off.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun.
Just let you do it.
I think that's X Brand tear.
No, you got the end of it.
It's the
Oh, that's the
motorsport.com tweet.
It's getting late.
Yeah, it's no. Okay. All right, motorsport.com. Tweet at me. Thank you to the folks at motorsport.com and to go through the banner to help us out. Great guys. The best place to get off-road parts, for sure. They'll probably have Triumph parts soon. Okay. We asked for questions for Ricky and Hot Sauce, and I forgot, so they're gone.
You want Michael and I to act like
You know what you're going to get when you get back home? You're going to get so much shit when you get back home. You're like, your team is going to go like, you can't run the show without us.
We need raises. Clearly, you're a failure.
Okay. Let's. This question's for me, but let's let Keefer answer it because
as you or just my answer.
No, you would know this.
You have to say
from
it.
Snowman. Lewis, Kellen, Dark, me, and Weege line up for a race in moto. What order do we finish in?
Ooh, okay. So
Steve, Lewis, Kellen, Dark, and Weege.
So Lewis is last because he can't ride.
What we don't know.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't ride.
Yeah.
No, he rides.
He refuses.
He refuses. We've been trying. He hasn't
But
rode a
he
dirt
did
bike
race
in 8
back
years.
in the day.
It's
What
been
track?
like 7 years.
What track?
I don't know. This
Somewhere in
gentleman
Europe.
doesn't say that.
It's. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
no,
for
it's
you
not.
and Dark, I got to know what track because it's close.
Am I beating Kellen?
Yes.
So it's me and Dark, 1 and 2 in some order.
Yes.
And then
How's
Kellen,
Weege on moto?
And then Kellen,
then Weege and Lewis.
Weege, and Lewis.
Okay.
That's
Well, I
fair.
had Dark covered at Mesquite. He crashed twice.
That's
in
what I'm
front of me,
saying.
Trying to hold me off.
Right.
I beat him at the World Vets at Glen Helen.
I think you would have beat
But I
him
feel like
today.
he's
were
got
ripping
you
on that
at
250.
at Glen Helen lately. I think he's better.
No, sir.
I don't think he's better.
Okay.
We need another face-off.
For all of us, with the uncharacteristic mistakes for Jet and the lack of mistakes for Chase, does that validate Chase's claims on the bike being the reason for so many falls during his time on the 450?
No. I mean, I think Chase's lack of mistakes right now are because he's not comfortable enough on the bike to push it the way he did on the Honda and maybe pushed it beyond sometimes. But I think even currently it's because he's battling an injury, so he's just riding slower.
Okay. All right. Keefer from Justin. Do you tend to ride a demo bike harder than any other bike?
Demo bike as in like a test bike?
I would guess, yeah.
No, same. Even when I buy a bike every year and then I ride the same.
All right. John Henning wants to know, we need to know who Webb's middle finger was for. We don't know.
Everyone.
Yeah.
No.
Everyone?
Everyone. The world.
All right. From Twitterless TU. Kyle Peters or Brees, who's going to get this thing?
KP.
KP's got, there's only 1 point between first and second and all that, so I'll go KP can nurse this thing home.
How many rounds left?
3.
3?
There's 6 point lead? 6?
Yeah.
Isn't one of them a double header? How many rounds? 3? I thought it was like 5 because 2 of them are double headers or something.
No, it's Daytona.
2 Daytona.
Yeah.
There's 3 Daytonas, isn't there?
Not
It's
that I know.
Daytona and then it's like a double header night. I thought.
So that's 4.
I still
There's
think he's
Vegas,
got
then
it.
There's Vegas at the end.
Yeah.
I'll say Brees just to be different, but yeah, it's coin flip.
What do you think?
KP.
KP? All right. Just scrolling through all the.
Tell him,
things.
great job.
Can have him screenshot a couple to send him to
Yeah,
you?
I'm sorry. Apparently, I
Keep your
should
guys
have
working remote.
jumped ahead of this.
Why? What's wrong?
He's saying I should have had you pre-prepared with all of these tweets.
Oh, no, that's fine. I got a lot of United stuff because I was putting on Twitter about United screwing me over.
Couldn't have Talon couldn't do his job remote and screenshot him.
Are you ready to admit that United maybe isn't?
No, they
as
absolutely all suck.
How many times do we have to
You know, we've got from it semester. They just all suck.
Yeah, they're all terrible.
They all suck, right? So, this guy wants to know where you rank the Triumph in the current production. We kind of talked about that. This guy wants to know, Ricky, are you aware of the rising sensation known as Dark? And are you worried about him rising to take your job? So,
hey, we've seen he's great on camera as we've witnessed
okay.
today.
Oh boy.
Trev Dog, how does an event like Monster Jam, who's owned by Feld, get in baseball stadiums around this time and Supercross can't? Pretty sure they were in Florida's baseball stadium this past weekend. Would be cool to see Supercross there on top of Daytona.
Depends on timing, obviously, too. Who gets what
I
at
think
what
it's
time?
timing and even market. Like it just because a Monster Jam's in a stadium doesn't mean a Supercross is going to work there. I mean, to put it bluntly, they're more you have a higher chance of a monster jam working in wider range of markets.
What Florida stadium would they have been in this weekend? Miami's?
Camping World?
No, that's the football one, isn't it? There's Tropicana, which is the Rays, and there's Marlins Park, which is where the Marlins play. Those would be the only 2 baseball stadiums in Florida.
I'm not a baseball guy. I don't know.
I think Feld has said, like, nah, no Miami. Doesn't make sense for us.
Really?
Yeah.
So.
You think about where
Steve,
Moto's
why are the Deacons taking a Sharpie to the Toyota of Escondido logo on Hayden's jersey?
Because he has a Ford relationship. The family does. Hayden still drives a Ford and posts about a Ford. So probably, no offense, just gear company.
Can't they
probably
make the jersey without the logo?
Some gear companies struggle to get stuff done properly.
Okay.
We've seen Thor mess up a couple times, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't want to throw him a bus, but they.
I mean, it is what it is.
For brands that do pro athlete gear, they do struggle a little more than others.
Okay, so this is a question. We got a few people. The concrete floors at the stadium, what can we do about them? I mean,
are you going to more mats, gym mats? Are we going to have the Steve Mathis gym mats?
Yeah. What do you want? Stay on the track.
At some point, our sport's dangerous, right?
Yeah. I don't know what you can do about that. Like, I get it. Like, do you know how many? That'd be a whole nother tractor trailer for Feld to carry gym mats around, and then the labor of picking up the gym mats and length. I mean, it's. Yeah,
and then guys swirling out all this trying to walk across. I just always lean back to better safety equipment. Hopefully the air vest.
What about Faulkner getting picked up and walking to the mule versus a stretcher?
Ooh. I don't know if
or
I'm
a
touching with
backboard,
it.
sorry.
I don't know if I'm touching that.
I am.
I would assume they asked him, and he said, "I'm good."
But it shouldn't matter if they asked him or not, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't care. Based on what we've seen in the past, I don't care what the rider says concerning the incident. The weirdest part is seeing a man get up in what they call a C-call, the halo, the collar, but not on a backboard. Just with Moreau being not that long ago, I just think it's too questionable.
I try not to question the medics because I'm not down there. I don't know what they're saying
That's
or
what
what the
I was
rider's saying. Like, I don't know, but it is a tough subject.
I just think it's more of a standard. Like, regardless of what they say, I just would love to see it just be stricter, whether they agree or not.
Right.
It's just, is it worth risking? Is it worth risking?
But we don't know what was going on down there either. So.
All right, this question's for Kris Keefer. Gear companies like to point out how breathable and light their clothing is because this is what riders want. Pants rip apart during first crash. Modern gear has no durability. When and how can we stop this? Hashtag man of the people. I mean, he's got a point. The newer gear is like...
Depends on lines. Honestly, like the high-end line is thinner, more breathable, and then as you go down the line, the fit is obviously different, but the material itself gets thicker.
Yeah, I wore the Evo stuff today from Fly, and it's noticeably thicker and fits better than the Kinetic that I normally wear.
Yeah.
You know, like
the Evo does.
Yeah, Evo fits better than Kinetic.
Yeah.
Kinetic is thicker though.
Yes, correct.
You know,
Yeah.
so...
I think that's a tough one. I see people, they'll get Fox Flex Air or something that's real thin, then they're like, I destroyed it in a couple rides. Like, it's not the product for durability. If you want it, go get the middle line stuff, the lower end line stuff. But
I was talking to A-Ray about this the other day.
Greatest.
I thought it would be cool, like O'Neill, like have a throwback set of gear every year. Let's remake this 1992 set and remake that whole deal. I think that would be really cool, and then sell it as a retro kit every year.
Same material?
No.
Oh, okay.
But just have a replica, like 1992, whatever hardware, and then the next year for 2025, pick a year and do that year. Because I think it's really there's a lot of cool nostalgic gear sets that I liked that they should bring back at some point.
Yeah, but these guys tell me that doesn't sell.
That's bullshit. It's one set of gear. It would sell.
That's what they tell me.
Nah.
Okay.
Look at these LE sets. They fucking sell out.
All right, from Scott. Steve, what became of the Mosman on Star thing? I probably missed it, but I remember he's racing this weekend, and he hurt his back. He showed up at Star, and he was fast, I guess, and then hurt his back.
He already had the back problem before he got there, and they knew about it. Talking to somebody on the team, there was kind of an internal joke like, hey, because of what's going on with Lopes, they're like, do we really need 2 people that have health issues on the team?
Yeah.
It was kind of the problem was he was fast, but I heard from different people internally it was like some people want him to race, the rest of it, some of us are like, what are we doing with this situation?
Is Lopes coming back?
What?
Is Lopes coming back? What are we doing?
I don't know. Yeah. He's got arm pump problems again, and I don't know, arm issues still. I think he got a surgery done, another procedure done, I should say, another procedure, not a surgery, and it didn't work again. So I really feel bad for Enzo because this was
This was a make or break deal, right?
It really was. So we got to complain about your low energy on the show tonight.
Yeah, Cole, can you hear me? I'm sick. Sorry, man.
Sick, traveling. It's a late show.
Okay, all right. Let's wrap this thing up then because Keefer's got low energy.
Low T, low energy,
It's
not
your
low
fault,
T.
Chris.
It is. This is what he does.
Again, I love
He's
it.
talking about
He's
me
in
and
trouble.
my bullshit on the track. This is what he does
It's
to me.
11:18. I got shit to do tomorrow.
No after dark?
No.
I had questions for Kellen. I'm just kidding.
All right.
What's
Okay.
that Kellen's
Here we
face?
go.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I was with Kellen and his wife celebrating her birthday.
How'd we go in Vegas?
In Vegas.
They go hard?
No, we left early. I don't know. Did you guys go hard that night?
We went out after you left, to Country Bar.
You
and,
did?
Yeah.
Just
ripped
stay
up.
up to the sun?
We met Lewis's video guy, Sean.
Oh, he came out? Sean
yeah.
came out?
Uh-huh. Partied with him.
3 a.m., 4 a.m.? What do we got?
We got back at 2:30. Yeah,
Okay.
3-ish, almost.
They went to the Sphere too.
No Coke?
No Coke.
No Coke.
But her sister, different
Oh.
story.
Whoa.
I'm not going to get into that.
Oh, you can't do that.
I'll tell you after.
Jeez.
Oh, my God.
I'm not going to blow her
Can
out.
I get
on the
a
podcast.
Sphere update?
You should just
What's the
made up
next
a
show?
name.
I went on Wednesday
For the final YouTube.
to the final. Like, there's only 2 more shows. It's this weekend. They're finally done.
Did
40
you
shows.
shed a tear?
So Wednesday was my last time. Show number 6.
Did you cry?
Did you cry?
I didn't cry. I didn't get in a fight coming in either.
I didn't have your back, so you shouldn't have.
And let me just tell you, the 6th show was as magical as the first.
He's about to tear up now.
Same set?
A little different, but basically the same. One song was different from us.
How was your date? Was he as good as me?
Yeah.
Wow.
He loves you too.
He
Unlike
loves
you.
me or just loves you too?
He loves the band U2, which you like the band U2, but
Yeah.
you're not in love with him.
Right.
This gentleman that I was with, my internet friend.
This is like his Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
got it.
he knows more about U2 than I do.
Wow.
So he was, yeah.
Was there any talking during, like, we didn't talk very much. We just enjoyed the
Do
show.
you want to know the weird, can I tell you guys a real funny
Yeah.
story from that?
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. So the guy I went with is a writer for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's the beat writer for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I met him on Twitter. We're internet friends. And so he loves you too. So we got tickets. Thank you, Dennis Parker. Shout out.
Dennis is the man.
Dennis is the man.
Dennis is the
Dennis
man.
bought your Alta.
Dennis is the man.
So Dennis got us tickets. So earlier that day, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm listening to a hockey podcast. And it's like just an insider's hockey podcast. 2 guys that I know who they are. And this guy on the podcast, this sort of like Ken Rosenthal of hockey, or me of motocross, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling a story about his buddy that he grew up with in Toronto, and the buddy interviewed to run the Toronto Maple Leafs a little while ago, but he turned it down, and now he's staying with Tampa Bay Lightning. He runs Tampa Bay Lightning business side and the arena in Tampa Bay. So multi-time Stanley Cup champion, And he said, I've never really said this before because I don't want his bosses thinking that I'm getting information from him because we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
But here I am going to tell you this story. So whatever. So we go on with our day. We're at the Sphere. Lady sits next to me, and we're talking, and she's like, "How's it? Have you been here or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been. This is my 6th time." She's just like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Where are you guys from?" She's like, "Oh, we're from Tampa." And then we're talking, and then something comes up about being Canadian, and she's like, "My husband's Canadian."
No.
Same guy.
The guy that the guy was talking about was in my row.
No.
She's like, "My husband runs the hockey team in the arena in Tampa Bay."
Oh, my God.
Were you tripping?
So did the beat writer oh, yeah, I know.
So he was
I see
on
his
the
face
end,
all
and there was
time.
another couple between them. So the 2 wives were sitting together, then the 2 husbands were sitting together. So he was the last seat, and there was 3 more seats. And she's just like, I'm like, "Is your husband?" I even forget the name now.
But you knew it.
Oh yeah, I said that because I heard the podcast.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my God, yes." And I'm like, "Holy shit." I'm like, "I just heard about your husband today on Elliot Friedman's 32 Thoughts podcast." She's just like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, hey." Like waves his attention, and then we started talking.
Really?
And
Was he cool?
Yeah, really cool guy from Toronto, like
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. They had never seen. They love you too. The husband loved you too more than the wife. The wife was yawning, caught her yawning a couple times, not happy. But,
That's a big no-no. You can't do that.
But the husband was into you too. So then he was like, "Do they do Bad? The song Bad?" I'm like, "No, they don't." So how fucking weird is that?
Dude.
That's the most random
I was
connection ever.
Yeah, I heard this story about this guy, and 5 hours later, he's in my row with the Sphere from Tampa.
That's the Sphere aura giving you a gift.
Dude. So
Look,
then
it's
the
like
guy,
listening to your bullshit, and it's like,
So
here
then
you go,
my
Steven.
internet friend. What'd you say?
It's the Sphere listening to all your bullshit you speak all the time about. Like, let's give Steve a gift today, and there it is.
So my internet
The
friend
Sphere's
who
like
writes about
Google
hockey for a
listening
living.
to
I mean, he's
stuff.
like me of hockey, right? Like he has to get scoops and writes about the team, and he knows the story. I told him the story, and then he hadn't listened to the podcast, but he knows all those guys. So then he was trying to grill the wife about some of the details about interviewing for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the wife was like, "I shouldn't say this, and I should," and he's like, "Yeah, you shouldn't say that." So he's like, he's getting
Yeah, he's getting scoops.
He's getting some scoops, and then
Yeah.
and then we all go up to the concert and we start talking at the four of us, and me and the guy go to the bathroom, and
Yeah.
then we come out, and my internet friend is still grilling his wife, and so, but yeah,
Yeah,
Dude.
that's a better date than what we had. Then I feel
it's
like.
just I couldn't believe it. This dude that he was in
How
the
will you
aisle of the
top
Sphere.
this?
Sphere, man, it's a magical place.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's almost like the Sphere willed it to happen.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like how your phone listens to all your stuff and gives you ads of the Sphere was listening to your
Yeah.
life, connect your phone, brought you this.
Yeah.
Teleported this
It
guy.
sent him ads for the
Yeah.
tickets and flights to get him
Right.
there for you, the
yeah,
whole thing.
So that was my last Sphere concert for you two, and yep.
What's the next
Wow.
residency?
Fish.
No one's going to that. dude.
Oh.
And then the Grateful Dead with John Mayer.
I'm not going to that. No one's. I'm not a deadhead.
No.
No.
That's
But Kellen went to the Sphere. Saw the movie. He didn't see
Yep.
you two, but saw the movie.
And
It was good, but the movie.
oh, be careful.
I've told Steve this already.
I wasn't happy with his sort of.
The
talk.
movie can be better, I think, and can make the Sphere better as well. It was like not a great movie, but the experience is cool because it's like gnarly cinematics and
Correct.
stuff that go with it, and then they make it 4-dimensional with they like blow you with air and stuff during it all. And I had a great time, and it was really cool to see everything that they do in there with the AI stuff beforehand. And
I gotta take Heather in there to get 4-dimensional.
All
Here
right,
below.
let's wrap this up. Let's talk Daytona.
A what? Oh yeah.
Let's talk Daytona.
what?
What?
No,
His
I was just like,
reaction.
fuck. We're talking 11:30.
No, just what happens this weekend? Like the all-time.
what I
winning
said
against Daytona
earlier.
rider.
I'm going with Jet, Eli, start up front, push each other to gladiator fight, and take off.
If that happens, yes, I think this is a great track for Jet.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely amazing. Ingenuity, free thinking, bike ability, bike skill. Because once this track gets beat up and you start hopping shit and you start, that's Jet's thing. And if Eli, I mean, Daytona is Eli's thing.
Yeah.
So like, dude, you're right. Like those two get out, it could be on. Like
I just want to watch the young versus the gladiators, the rookie versus the veteran, and
Yeah.
watch them just. Guys have been doing great. I could see them just drop them.
Do you let me ask you this: who has to start in front of who for it to be a good battle?
Tomac has to get in front of Jet.
Yeah.
Okay, I think so too.
Yeah.
is there? I mean, look, anything can happen, but like, is there any other choice for a win here?
Besides those two.
Yeah.
I think low key AP could win this race.
Okay.
That's not a bad pick. We have what's the weather situation? Are we good?
I haven't heard.
I think we're good.
I mean, you can't. I mean, why are we not saying Cooper? Why are we not saying
Kenny.
that?
Well, he's never won Daytona, so.
I mean, but he's winning now.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to say Cooper. If it's not those two,
Yeah.
Cooper.
Has Kenny? How many times?
Kenny's never won Daytona.
Kenny's never won Daytona either.
No. Just as Wygant will tell us, just Justin Brayton,
Just
and then
Justin
Tomac.
Eli, Brayton, Eli.
Out of course, we all picked Daytona for Brayton to win his only Supercross.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah,
obvious.
everyone.
That
that
made
was
perfect
obvious.
sense.
Yeah, that's obvious. So
Do we ever see another Brayton type win?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Do you think so?
Oh yeah.
I mean, only 6 years
north
before that,
of
Shorty got his win.
Zacho-
Felt the same.
Zacho-
yeah.
When
Zacho
Anderson's
makes
seat
sense,
Came
though.
off,
Well, I guess what we're saying, though,
Baggett.
what do you mean a
Baggett.
brain type win? I was thinking age, but
Oh.
so just one off.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
You just never know, right?
Okay.
But
Yeah, I mean, if it's not those two, it's going to be Coop because he's strong. It's going to be rough. So
right. Way to bring the energy.
just here, I'm here for it, dude.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Really good show tonight. Really fun. And sorry for coming in late. Sorry for some technical snafus.
Late show for us, but we pulled through.
Yeah.
I feel like we did a good job.
I don't feel like I gave my numerous sponsors enough love because I didn't do any reads at all.
You going to talk about Yamaha before we wrap
Short
up?
on time. What?
Yeah.
Talk about Yamaha before we wrap it up?
Intro.
Yeah, great bike.
Blue Crew?
It's a great bike.
Okay.
Fantastic. Triumph should really take the motor and turn it around. Just turn that thing around.
Put the air filter in front of us?
Yeah. No, I want to thank the Triumph guys for having us here and setting us up and bringing these guests in tonight. It was a really fun day, and it was really cool to see all that. And, yeah, it was a cool time, Kellen. Thank you for your help.
Yeah, thank you, Kellen.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
ML, thanks for hanging in there all show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, Chris, as always.
Thank you.
Great job on the bike.
Yeah,
except for the gas cap and except for the torques.
No.
Other than that.
Hey, great job on riding today. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for flying out here and riding. And thank you, before this, you rode a lot. You went riding 2 days in a row. I appreciate that. Thank you.
2 days in a row.
You went to Mesquite twice, 2 days in a row.
Yeah, and I was supposed to go on Wednesday, except they got rain. I was going again.
Don't stop. Keep doing this.
I'm going to keep riding. I've been in Western is open. I was the first guy on the new layout. I was the first guy to jump all the jumps.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
And I wanted a guy to put a plaque up or a flag or something.
Your whole kit today was nice.
Yeah, well, that was your
I mean, it still looked good.
Yeah, Fly Racing sending me the kit. The kit did look good. Like,
no, it flowed really well with the bike.
Yeah.
As opposed to some other contrasting ones today. But
yes. Yeah. Some people didn't seem to care. Some people,
but you cared.
Some
Chris
people just
cared
ran
about
red gear with 8,000 logos on the jersey.
Looks good, though. That's good.
I mean,
logos make jerseys.
He looks like a GP rider with all the logos, though, so I like it.
Yeah, that's
Thank
true.
I'm all about it.
And it's shocking that Kellen put up a social banger earlier today on his own account, and it was Clement to Sal.
Yeah, we're out.
Yeah, dude.
That was a good shot, though.
Hey,
Carmichael, Stanton. Yeah, no, I'm putting.
Hey, how about Clement's reaction to our Lewis question?
Oh,
yeah,
that'll be LVK topic on Wednesday.
Yes, drop that.
I texted Lewis just, what did you do to Clement Desal during his career?
Yeah,
and he's like, he doesn't even know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no,
he did once we brought it up.
He did. Dark texted me and said RDL talk, but I don't know what he means by that.
Race Day Live? About you going in there or something?
Oh, yeah, I was supposed to go on it this weekend. I wasn't there, but I got a text saying, hey, we got opening on RDL. Of course, somebody dropped out. Because why else would they text me, And they're like, we got to and Bondo's like, come on in.
Sad.
Yeah.
You could have been there.
Yeah, I'm not there.
That was your chance. You blew it. Maybe that was your chance. You blew it.
Hopefully I'll get on again. I mean, maybe Dark did it.
That's the next step for this guy. I mean, shit's popping off for him. So.
Do we post the video or no?
No. I'm gonna have my guys
hard.
back on this one. We give him a hard time. I'm gonna give him this one. This is for us. This is for us.
This is one for us.
This one's for us.
Yeah.
We could send it out to the world, let them enjoy it, but you know what? We're not. We're just gonna. We're gonna keep it close to us.
You know, you have those videos of Heather in the vault.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Let's just put this one in the vault.
Yes.
For future enjoyment.
Yes.
Maybe our kids.
Yes.
Kids one day.
Future generations can enjoy it.
Explain them the legacy.
Like you wouldn't put Heather's vault stuff out in public.
No.
And you're not going to put this video out in the public.
Dark's kids, maybe. When he has kids. More kids coming.
More kids.
More kids.
Yeah.
You see his post? He made a post.
It's about time.
Yeah. When's he just going to move to the high des?
I mean, from what I heard, someone today, someone asked him, he's like, I could see myself living in the high des.
Really?
Close to Amber.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica.
Did you see the post that A-Ray did on Twitter with Dark with this? He's doing this.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is.
I
anymore.
sent that to him, and I'm like, please tell me this is AI. I don't remember it being quite like this.
I'm looking at that guy. I'm like, this guy now, it's like a whole new thing.
Don't let Amber see that.
I was gonna say, did you send that photo to her?
No.
This is your man.
That one's for us.
Wow. This video, we want people to know we got a video, and it's really great.
It's
and
gold.
we're
There's
not
a
gonna
lot
do
of
it to our guy,
things.
Dark.
Yeah, Dark does a lot of great faces. I have a bunch of faces of Dark in my phone, which are great.
Yeah.
Videos. But this one, if you guys seen my video on Instagram about him just throwing his goggles, how great that one was, I feel like this one is close to that.
Yeah.
But we're going to.
Well said. All right. Thanks to Ricky Carmichael. Thanks to Ivan Tedesco, Jeff Stanton, Rod Lepuznak as well from Triumph America. Again, thank you to the Triumph guys for having us in here. Always fun time. And Michael Lindsay, Kellen Brauer, Kris Keefer.
Thank you.
We're
Fun
out here.
times.
Thanks, boys.